close. Oh. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. You like how I do that with the numbers? Yes. How are you doing, folks? I hope you're doing just fine and dandy. I'm going to send a message out there to everyone in the chat, and I'm going to share this out to my favorite social media platform. Well, I don't think it's really my favorite, but it's like my only one where I have a fair amount of friends on it. All right. So sharing it out, ... seems to help. We are live ... seems to be the message that gets the most response. Yeah. Survey says. Don't you think? Hello, Mud Rabbit. The t-shirts, as I guess, are they're in the print queue and they're going to be printed, and then they already have the sticker for the package, but they don't have the package yet to deliver. It's in Georgia, Jasper, Georgia. So that's the progress report on that right there. So that's kind of cool. All right, now, yeah, we need to, okay, undo that, do this, and then do that. How do you like that? And we're going to start off with a different song, okay? Just because. No rush at all. Okay, well, it's going to be on its way, apparently. You know, I like the old-fashioned days, back in the old days when you'd order something and you'd be bewildered as to when it was going to come. I mean, it would be like, every day would be like you could win the lottery. It might come today, but you didn't know. And there was something exciting about that. And I think we've missed out on that. Carmen Miranda hat? Carmen Miranda. Now I'll have to look up who that is. Carmen Miranda. Maybe I should know that. I have been frozen for the past 30 years or so. So that's why I don't have a lot of knowledge in the present time. Yeah. Hey, Brooklyn Way. Glad to see you here. For the music, Carmen Miranda. Must be a musician. Must be a musician. That's all I can say. I haven't kept up on all that. Oh, she's from way back. Oh, our parents' generation. Oh, then I definitely wouldn't know. I guess there'd be a slim chance that I would. But doesn't ring a bell. Not ringing a bell there. Alrighty then. So today I was over at my buddy's channel, Secure Team 10, Tyler. He's got some great videos. And he was showing some pictures of some old UFOs from China. Okay. Which is interesting because I was also looking at some yeah, from Russia too. So I have some Russia things to talk about and China UFO pictures to go over and, do all that kind of stuff. All right. Yeah, here we go. Alrighty then, I want to thank you all for being here. Remember to please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and everything else like that. Let's see who's here. Catherine Weiss, hello there. Good to see you here. Abby, hello, Abby. Wow, we got a good crowd here now. My name is Dee. Hello, Dee. What you up to? Amen? I like that, amen. What am I up to? What is my height? That's a good question. That's always been in question. No way to answer it. No way to answer how tall I am. For various reasons. Hello, A-man. Hello, D-man or D-person. Underscore D. My name is something D. Space D? Could be. Could be, who knows? Alrighty then, well, let's get going here. Yeah, many years ago, a major airport over there in China, the Shenzhen airport, I believe, the Xingzhou, I can't remember. They all kind of sound similar. Is that a word? I don't know. Similar. Yeah. So you might all remember this, and you'll be able to see the Secure Team logo in the corner, the bottom left corner there. But here's this thing up here, looking like some kind of fluorescent light, floating up in the sky and beaming something down, you know. And they closed the whole airport down in China. I remember when this happened, it was in the news. And you see, ABC News was reporting it back then. It was quite a few years ago, back in the early 2000s, something like that. But yeah, it was incredible. Does anybody remember that? When it was in the news, it was pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. You'll be back in a bit? Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Hey, Jerry. Come on, Aaron, over 5'6". Well, here's the story, Abby. And for anyone else who is curious, let me check my my driver's license. Let's see what it says. Okay. Okay, now according to my, I got to tell this story, and then I'll tell you what it says in my license. So when I was a young lad and I was growing up, you know, when you're growing, you're a young boy, you're growing, and you're always wondering, how tall am I going to get? So I would like measure myself as I was growing. And it seemed like I reached a plateau at 5'8 3/4. It was very frustrating. I'm like, no, I got to be taller than 5'8 3/4. And I kept checking. It was always the same. And I thought, well, I gave up on it. And then it was like, I don't know, a month or two. I checked again. And it was 5'11". I went, whoa, 5'11". Wow, I must have grown. I thought, wait a minute. That can't be right. I better check that. I better double check that. I was just about to double check and I went, wait, whoa. Whoa, whoa, time out. Wait a minute here. Maybe I should just not check it and go with the 5'11", not really knowing if I really am 5'11" or not, or maybe still 5'8 3/4. It really, So I suppose someday they might look at my driver's license and say, "Oh, this isn't him. This guy's only 5'8 3/4. His license says 5'11". You're an imposter. No, I'm not. Then I'd have to cite this episode 77. That's where I told my story about how tall I am and how tall I might be. Hello, Austin. Good to see you here. Yeah, so that's the story. I'm 5'11", if anyone asks, okay? But yeah, stretching, trying to get a little bit taller. Oh, Brooklyn Way says I used to be 5'11 3/4. Oh, 0.75. Wow. So basically 6. But I'm straight up 5'11 now. Yeah. Yeah, that happens. For years now, I've wanted to get inversion boots. I'm thinking this could be a good thing. I've had some back problems in the past. And I just think, isn't that a good thing for your back? My name is Dee. 5'8" is a good height, a true height, where real men are made. Well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. You got to try a little harder at basketball, right? Makes you better. Yeah. Okay, Brooklyn Way. Yes, oh my God, I want them so badly. Want them? Hey, Sopranos fan. I guess I must have missed part of that convo. So that's a pretty interesting UFO there, out there in China, wouldn't you say? So now, what do the Chinese have? Of course, they're very, secretive society. I'm surprised they let this story out back then, It's interesting. All right. So there's more pictures. It's that crazy screenshot thing we're doing. Oh, by the way, my merch shop has its first onesie. All right. If y'all know anybody that needs a onesie, they can head on over to my merch shop. And now would be a good time to have that link ready to go. Here it is, right here. Oh, I just love copying and pasting. It's just a pretty cool pastime. Let me tell you. I'm telling you. Oh, you mean you want one of those inversion boots? Okay, yeah. Yes, I know. I think that we could all probably get taller that way too. Let gravity work for us. So there's the good old love bugs on a onesie. Isn't that cute? And not only that, but there's 3 colors. I guess you'll never guess what the 3 colors are. White, this color, or is it? There it is. Pink. And I bet you nobody can guess what the next color will be. But I bet you somebody can. But I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to go get it and put it up there because I know you all know it. It's the blue one. So cute. So there you have it. If you have a little one coming along, you might want to get one of these, actually a couple of these things, because those, they don't stay clean very long. So you got to have a whole drawer full of these things, right? They need to make them out of like something stretchy so you can wear them for like a couple of years or something. Maybe you wouldn't want them that long. Nah. Okay, there we go. All righty then. What do you think about that? I want to show you something here. And this was, again, from my buddy Tyler's channel, Secure Team 10 or Secure Team, whatever. But anyway, so this was something photographed over there in Australia, all right? And this is that one in China, another angle of one of those strange light ships beaming lights down. Now, these do look a little bit different, and this seems to have like little extra little lights every now and then up here, which makes me think, well, maybe it's just a drone going and it's like a time-lapse picture, perhaps. But then what are these? You know, what's that? I don't know. Very interesting. Any ideas on what that might be? Hey, Mr. Dennison, he's back. HHS. Oh, yeah. That's something that Max was talking about. Oh, thank you, Mud Rabbit. Oh, a call-in number, yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me get the call number. I forgot to do that. Sorry about that. Yeah. Here we go. And there we are. And I hope that that is legible there. I think that's going to work. Think that'll work? It might just work. Okay, so those are Australia and China. Very similar, you know. Not much you can tell from a photograph, but it's interesting nonetheless. All righty, let's see here. It's 10 o'clock. All right, it's 10 o'clock, Monday night. Monday. Remember that song, I Don't Like Mondays by the Boomtown Rats? Cool song. Very sad what it's about, though. Very sad. So that's China. So we had a little look there into China, into some of their UFO pictures. And now, you know, I don't know if you've all seen this. I'm sure if you look into the UFO stuff at all, you probably have seen this picture. And it's from Russia with love, right? So it's a video that purports to show, you know, all of these military dignitaries or whatever, whoever they are, investigators from the Soviet, you know, Russia, inspecting what looks to be some sort of crashed disc, you know, whether it's an extraterrestrial disc or maybe it's something they made and it didn't really fly very good and it crash landed. We don't know, but it was leaked out. Apparently it was real. The footage looks really good. I mean, it's very consistent with the time period. So yeah, have you guys seen that? I mean, there's all this evidence, you know? Yeah. So that's what that is. All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat here, or on the Zoom, to see if anyone calls in. Somebody wanted to call in. I did put the Zoom link there. So we'll see if someone calls. Love bugs. Oh, excuse me. I forgot how to swallow. I just cut my hair the other day. You know, the thing that, you know how Mondays are like hairdresser's day off? You know, did you know that? I found that every Monday I needed a haircut. It's like, I can't get a haircut on Monday because that's their day off. But it seemed like, you know, Tuesday, oh, maybe I don't need it. It's looking okay today. Maybe I don't need a haircut. And then every day it's like, oh, I don't need a haircut. And then around Monday, oh, I need a haircut. So now I do my own haircuts with the Flowbee. So I highly recommend it, especially for you lockdown types. Oh, maybe some different music. Sounds like someone putting dishes away. Oh. Let's see here. Yeah. Alrighty then. Well, thanks for all being here, and remember to share this out. I shared it to my Facebook page and my Truth Quest Facebook page, so 2 Facebook pages. So hopefully some people will see it, and we'll get some eyes on some of this stuff and get the convo going. While we're waiting, don't you love memes? I mean, there's this video on Rumble, and I'll just tell you, take a look at some of the verbiage on this meme, and then look up part of that verbiage on Rumble, and you'll be very amused. It's very cool. Hey, Julie, good to see you here. Glad to see you. Peace. Peace. So here's this meme, and let me know what you think of this. I think it's pretty darn funny. You might have seen it. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah. What do you think about that? The former vice president and the former president talking. He says that he's what? Getting really popular. Oh my. Oh, too funny. My popularity is increasing. No, that's not what they meant when they say blank Joe Biden. Yeah. It's amazing. There's a compilation video of all these college games, football games, you know, one right after the other. Crowds getting bigger and bigger and louder and louder. It's incredible, incredible, incredible. Yeah. Yeah. The most popular president ever. Oh no, I gave myself the hiccups. Oh no, it's a meme-induced hiccup bout with hiccups. So there you go. That's my favorite meme of the week. That's got to be it, baby. Don't you just love that? Different music. Well, I really don't have any different music. If I play any other music that I have here, it's like what do you call it? Copywritten. So, well, let me see if I can find something else. Whoa, that wasn't good. Sorry about that. I have a very small crew here. Me, myself, and I. Okay. Okay, I'm looking for something here. Unknown album, that looks interesting. Yeah, unknown. Something unknown. Oh, you know what? Here's one I will play for you. And this song, friends, let me turn this up. This is a song that was done many years ago by two friends of mine, Johnny and Ray, and it's called Nothing. Okay, and just listen to the mellow tones of this fine tune here. What do you think of this? First Time Anywhere. Great song, by the way. What do you think of this song, friends? Can you hear it okay? No, it's not the best recording. It's from a tape. All right, we're just gonna let that loop, okay? You wanted new music? That's my friend's music, so. Aaron's hair is 6 feet tall. Yeah, I'll tell you a story about my hair. Well, first I gotta tell you about this picture here. Now, the white part of the picture, the black and white part, was a leaked map of the underground tunnels and trams throughout the U.S. in this part of the U.S. Underground, and these are underground military bases. These circles where they juncture. Okay, and behind it is the missing 411. All of the people in missing in national parks throughout the nation. And underneath here, it correlates with where these underground bases are. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. Yeah, Maglev. Yes, that's right. Yeah, they have all kinds of stuff. And, you know, there's explosions going on underground in many areas of the country, Ohio, other areas, you know. Are those new bases being built? Old bases being blown up? According to Corey Good's latest intel, there's an awful lot of hibernating reptilians in Antarctica, deep underground in those bases there, several levels to it. Yeah, we're going to have to deal with that someday, because I think As long as we keep them fed, they won't come up. But if we stop feeding them what they eat people, not old people. Otherwise, they're going to come up. I say, let them come up and we'll take care of them. That's what's going to happen, I think. It would be a hell of a battle, but I think people would win. That's my opinion. I hope so. But I hope it won't come to that. Hope we can drop some kind of thing down there, you know, some kind of elaborate tarot, you know, like you do with ants, something to get rid of them all before they get rid of us. Yeah, it's very disheartening. Think of all those missing people. What do you think of my buddy Ray's song here? Well, you know, Julie, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm just saying that the missing people in these national parks seem to be very near, if not right underneath these national parks. So, and I've heard, you know, rumblings. You don't know if any of this is true. You don't know. You know, that's why we need full disclosure. Full disclosure. Full disclosure. Demand it. Demand it. Our taxpayer money paid for all. We need to know. So we demand it. Government by the people. You know, secrets need to be told to the people that have been learned. That's my opinion. Oh yeah, recently changed your mind about living in the deep woods? Yeah, well, I guess it depends on where you are, huh? But I would say try not to fear anything, because I think fear is something that attracts those looking for that loosh or whatever that is, energy, negative energy, that energy, because you know what, friends, we give off energy. I'm giving energy to you right now. You're giving energy to me. We're exchanging energy. Looks like Tony's in the house. Tony, the man. We are delicious, by the way. Yeah, apparently. Yeah. But you know what? I heard the clones of us are even tastier. Let's get them eating those, okay? Wean them off the people. Now, I remember there used to be these dog treats. They were people crackers. There was like a milkman, a mailman. Tony, are you there yet? There you are. Can I hear you? Say something. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you. Huh.
Oh, you can't?
Oh, I can now. Hey, I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I just want to explain something about the music you're playing. I think no, it's not the particular music. The noise cancellation on your streamer is fighting it. So all I hear is zip.
Oh.
And there's some other people in that chat as well.
Right.
So when I said it sounded like dishes, because all I could hear is like a clink, clink, clink,
okay,
like it was silverware. So that's the issue.
I'm
and
sorry about that. Could you?
Oh, you're not sorry. I was just letting you know.
So do you hear this song? Do you hear this?
No, it's just like blip, zip, blip, blip.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so disappointing. No, I don't have any stream software. That's my problem. And I was actually watching a video today, you know, comparing Restream to StreamYard and trying to figure out which one to use.
Yeah, I use StreamYard.
Pardon?
I use StreamYard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use a free version or do you have to pay for it?
I paid for it, yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever are you playing on Zoom or YouTube, or how are you streaming right now?
I got this set up. It's kind of weird. They said they'd never seen anything like it before, but I took this can and I put a hole in it and some string, and
Is that what's outside of my window? I was wondering what that
all
was.
these other cans, and that's it. No, I'm just I'm doing it the simplest cavemanist way to do it, and that is just I initiate a Zoom call, and then I go live on YouTube with it through Zoom.
Well, it must be Zoom is fighting the background noise.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I've had a lot of problem with Zoom actually because I can't show videos because they'll get choppy, just like I guess the music. So maybe I don't know if Restream or StreamYard's going to fix that. I don't know.
Well, what I have to do in mine, because I have a MacBook Air, the cheapest version, if I run video, the fan will start immediately. So I put on a fan in the back of the room. To me, it's really loud, but you can't hear it on the stream.
Oh, okay. I don't use a laptop. I got an iMac.
I'm just saying the software will cancel out background noise.
Okay, sure.
So I've never used music. I think you'd have to somehow plug it back into the microphone you're using or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. I have this cheap microphone here. This kind, but it's no good.
It's all camera. Oh, there it is.
It's no good. It's a cheap one.
Well, I just use the Mac. I just use the ones on my laptop. I don't use any microphones.
Yeah, that's what I'm using now. I mean, I tried that and it just didn't work. So I went back to this. But the problem is when I play the music, it plays out the speakers and it has to bounce back. I think that's what it is. I don't have a way to embed the music into the stream, as it were.
Right.
I just turned it all off right now because I'm sorry about that. It's making
and it's been like that since beginning. I just mentioned it tonight.
Well, that's weird because I've listened to some of my shows and I hear the music. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's on my end. I don't know.
Yeah.
But some other people in the stream have heard it. Maybe give a poll. How many people in the stream can hear the music as if it's music or that it's choppy? A 1, if you can hear the music, and a 2, if the music is really choppy.
Yeah, there's no music on right now, but from before, if you can remember. Yeah. Could you hear it or not? And there's usually like a 2-minute delay between when we say something and when chat, because there's like a minute delay or a half a minute or something delay.
Yeah.
Something like that. So how's the book selling business going?
Well, we just talked last night. There's not much different.
Good point.
I am getting more sales on Barnes & Noble, which is nice.
Oh, that's good. We got 2
But not a lot.
What does 2 mean again?
2 means, I don't know. I don't know what 2 means.
Oh, I should have wrote it.
You can hear it. All right, listen. 1 means you can hear it. 2 means it's choppy.
Okay, 1, you can hear it. 2, it's choppy. The music was distorted, Austin said. Yeah. I do hear the Morse code. I didn't hear the Morse code. Okay. The sound goes in and out.
Yeah, see, everyone was just being too nice to you. No one complained about it.
Huh. Well, I'm just kind of getting by with the can with the string in it for a while here until I can get.
Well, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I was just making you aware.
I
you know what I mean?
I need to know. I mean, there's only the 3 of us here. And, and 2 of them are slackers, me, myself, and I. So.
I thought it was you, your ship, and a cat.
No, I don't have a cat. I don't have a cat. I'm watching my son's 2 dogs.
Tell me about your ship. Is that the ship you're sitting in? Yeah. Did you design that art, or is that
the real spaceship? I'm actually in space right now.
Do you see any satellites?
Huh?
Do you see any satellites?
I had to destroy one. It was in my way. Yeah.
Do you have any proof?
I just blasted it. Huh?
Did you get a picture of it?
No, they won't allow me to take pictures up here.
Oh, that's very convenient.
I know, yeah, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Low tones going in and out, recognizable as music, but it was distorted music. Well, I'm sorry about that. You know, if I get Restream or, you know, my buddy Red Pill uses Restream. He keeps telling me to get Restream. And you use StreamYard. Now, I just watched a video comparing the two. And these two gals were talking about it. And I'm listening to them. And they're saying stuff I don't know what it means. So
that's the way. That's how it goes, man.
I got to write down all the things they said. I don't know what they are.
Did they say one is? Yes. Did they say one is better and one's not as good?
Well, they had like multiple different comparisons. It was I'll have to watch it again. I mean, I'm sure I'll get much more out of it if I watch it again.
I'll say I'm a technological idiot and StreamYard works fine for me.
Oh, well,
if that's any, yeah. So when I talked to Red Pill, we're talking about streamers. He's like, oh yeah, there's some really bad ones, but I'll tell you the really good one. And I said, well, I got StreamYard. And he's like, oh yeah, that's okay. So I think that was probably the wrong one to get.
Yeah, the video I was watching, the two gals, one of them was a Restream girl, and the other one was the StreamYard girl, and those were their favorites. So they were telling, you know, there were some things that one had that the other didn't have, and you know, but they both work. I guess you have a free version, and then you have two different steps up, like $20 a month or $40 a month or something like that. Yeah.
Well, if I don't spend my money at the end of the month, my wife takes it. So I just went ahead and bought the StreamYard.
That's what they make socks for, my friend. You put the money in your sock.
She puts the socks away, my friend.
Oh, well.
She would find it.
You know, I got to tell you a funny story. Years ago, I was back at my folks' house, and I was going out on a date. And I was between jobs. I didn't have a lot of money. And my mom said, hey, Aaron, I know you're going on a date tonight. Here's $20. Don't tell your father I have this money. She took it out of a stash. Then my dad was giving me a ride. He goes, hey Aaron, I know you're going out tonight. I'm going to give you some money. Here's $20. Don't tell your mother I have this. Like, okay, those are two secrets I can keep. So
hey, you know, I have a funny story. It's not really connected, but I thought about it. I thought about it today. So when I left my main band in DC, I was out for about 6 months. Hadn't played. This guy calls, and he says, you know, he's got a project and they're playing in DC. He wanted me to sit in. I didn't know anything about the guy. I think the guy's name was Gordon. So I go to the club, and then with musicians that play a lot or have played for a very long time, you don't really need to like practice what you're going to do. It's almost like your nerves are as fast as your head. Like if you hear a song on the radio in your head, you can sing along to it, right? Mm-hmm. But if you try to sing it out, you can't do it. But with music, with me, I can just sit down, never hearing it, and I can just play to it. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know anything about the band, and I went, and they were doing this fusion jazz thing, which I didn't really like, but that was fine. And halfway through the show, they announced happy birthday to the former drummer of War, who was in the audience. And he stands up and he waves, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So then after the show, I said to one of the guys, I said, yeah, that was really cool that the drummer from War was here. I said, he looked really familiar. And this guy with like beaded hair, you know, he looks at me like I'm really stupid. And he says, well, do any of us look familiar to you? And I'm like, yeah, all you guys look pretty familiar. And he's like, we are War.
Wow.
So I get home and I wake my wife up. And I said, you're not going to believe this. I just played with War. And what did she say? She said, who's War?
That's what I would say. That's what I would say. I've never heard of them.
You never heard of War? Low
No.
Rider. You ever hear the song Low? Dun 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 dun.
Mm-mm.
Dude, they're one of the biggest bands in the history of the world. War. What's war about? What good is war? Nothing. Dun dun. Come on, man.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
All right, you ruined my joke. I mean, not my joke, but my story.
Okay, well, I've been frozen for like 30 years. I don't know much.
Yeah, they were out in the '60s and '70s, man.
Okay, well, now
Never
I
mind.
thought there was a newer band because I have a friend on Facebook, and knows this band called Gnar or something. They were
Guar.
foam.
Guar.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about, or
No,
something like that. I thought, what is it?
That's G War.
Guar. Yeah. Well, I'm not hip to
Never
all.
mind. I thought it was a funny story that my wife didn't know, but then you didn't know either. So
No, I
it
didn't.
kind of wrote the story.
Yeah, well, I'm
sorry.
sorry about that. So what instrument do you play?
Drums.
Drums. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Now, you know what? I had a drum set for a little while. Drove my mom crazy, I think. But the music I really loved playing to was Kiss.
Mm.
Peter Criss was like an incredible drummer, and man, you get done playing a Kiss song, and you're like sweating, like it's a freaking workout. I mean, I think I was hitting them too hard or something.
Yeah, no, drummers sweat. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. The tightest band I ever saw, the tightest and the most professional was the Knack.
Oh,
I saw them at the Guthrie Theater, the old Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis. And
my Sharona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And they were fabulous. And I had to go to that alone because I couldn't get it. No one would go with me. So I went alone, but it was a great concert. The lights came on at the exact same moment the music started. I mean, exact. I couldn't believe it. It was like they had to be the most practiced band I'd ever seen. They were just so precise. And they were just confiscating cameras from the audience, confiscating cameras.
Yeah. One time I was on the forums and there was a kid who had recorded one of my bands live.
Yeah.
He was selling bootlegs. And I emailed him acting like I was being a tough guy, and he was really apologetic. I said, "Don't worry about it. Just send me a copy of it." That's all I care about.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That was kind of cool.
I had the great pleasure of meeting Prince a couple times. That was really, really cool.
I worked for a law firm that represented Prince.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
And
Yeah.
the partner was a jerk. He was so incompetent. I'm just saying. I shouldn't say anything. I don't want to start any hornet's nest, but never mind. Forget I said that.
All right. I used to work kitty corner from Paisley Park at this industrial park. It was a design.
Yeah, I pass it every day.
Hmm?
I pass it every day.
Yeah, I used to pass
on Highway 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to pass by his house every day too, till he tore it down, that yellow one.
I used to see Johnny Cash's house in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Newport Richie. It was a small, nondescript little green house. It wasn't special at all. And I used to hang out at this bar, and right across the river was Johnny Cash's house.
That's so cool. Johnny Cash.
I never met him, though.
No?
No.
I met Prince a couple of times. One of the times I saw him, he was being carried into a bar restaurant that was at downtown Minneapolis. And he was just sitting there like a little prince, and they're carrying him in, two of his bodyguards, and they put him down. He's like, and they're all like, it was so funny. But people had so much respect for him. They didn't rush up to him asking for autographs. They were very respectful. I mean, most other famous people, I don't think could cavort around like that. He just had this air about him that you were just happy to see him and you weren't going to bother him, you know? Yeah, he was a good guy. Great talent. And he died on the Queen's birthday
Hmm.
in an elevator.
Murdered.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yep. And he's got over 5,000 songs in that vault, finished songs.
Hmm.
And I don't think we're ever going to see him.
Who owns them?
I think Warner Brothers does, because he had just won rights back from Warner Brothers for all of his music. He was going to remaster the whole Purple Rain album and do extended mixes and do all kinds of stuff.
Well, my point is, he win. So
he did, but he didn't have a will, or he didn't have a will, or they destroyed, or they burned his will. One of the two.
I told you this guy was incompetent. Sorry.
Incompetent.
No, the partner at the law firm that I used to work at, that was his lawyer,
was incompetent.
He was incompetent, but if he didn't have a will, that's just more proof of it.
Well, there's a lot of people who don't have wills. You know, it doesn't make someone incompetent. I mean,
it makes their lawyer incompetent.
Well,
if you were my client, you would have a will. Believe me.
Well, my dad just passed away. He was 81. He didn't have a will.
Did he have a lawyer?
No.
Well, that's my point. Prince had lawyers. Prince had lawyers. They should have made sure he had a will.
Well, but he is the one hiring the lawyers. If he said, I don't want to, they can't force him to, can they? I mean, I don't know.
Okay, that's true.
You know, I personally am never going to buy a grave plot, because why plan for something that might never come? Right? I plan to live forever, and so far my plan is working perfectly. There you go. There you have it. Eddie Money, yes, I just saw him with a few years ago with Boston. Boston came into town. They have a new singer now. This guy that sounds just like Brad Delp. Unbelievable. That was a find. I mean, there's a band. That's my island album. You're stuck on an island, you can only have one album. Boston's first album, I take. What's your album? Island.
It would have to be. I mean, it would have to be Wagner. It would have to be like a full opera, and that's kind of cheating, because that would be like 20 albums. But you know, but I mean, because you can listen to it and you always hear something different in it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could study that. You could study the ring cycle for a lifetime, and you wouldn't really get all of it. You know, I don't think.
Okay, interesting. Do you ever listen to Alex Collier?
No, never heard of him.
Alex Collier. He is this guy. He's been talking like since the 90s. You see some of his old videos and listen to him if you're interested. He claims to have contact with these extraterrestrials, and he actually lived aboard one of their ships for a while. And he said that they really admire our music, and they're just bewildered at the way that we can make it, because the way they create music, they take sounds from nature, like from space, and they combine them to make their music, you know. So they're like, wow, how do you do that? You make the sounds. So that they're very, very, you know, we're very creative that way compared to a lot of other species, it appears. And these people have like blue skin, and I think they have like schooling for 150 years or something like that, because they live like 1,000 years or longer. But
maybe they like blue oyster cults.
Yeah, but apparently they're sort of connected to us in some kind of way, and so he's spent time with them. Very interesting, Alex Collier. And
what kind of music is it?
Huh?
What kind of music is it?
Well, it's Alex, just if you can well, let's see. Let me see if I can find.
I mean, I can look it up later. I was just curious. Is it rock? Is it jazz?
He never really explained what it was. He just said that they don't have instruments that they play. They gather sounds that they collect in space and combine them.
No, I mean Alex Collier. What music does he play? You said, was he a musician or just a writer?
No. He was an experiencer.
Ah, I thought he was a musician.
No. So he brought like a personal tape player with some music, and he played it for them, and they're like, "Whoa!" And I can't remember what he said that he played. Some old stuff. Maybe it was Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know. That'd be funny, but yeah, they were very intrigued by it, and then they showed him their music, and it was, this beautiful, and NASA will, from time to time, they'll put out the sounds of space when one of their probes passes by a planet. Each planet makes a different. There's different sounds. And
so how do you get sound in space if there's no atmosphere for the waves?
Well, that's, I think there's a lot of things in space that we don't understand. And now there are reports when astronauts went around the moon, around the far side of the moon, they heard this really weird music coming from space, kind of like orchestra music, sort of like music, like a sound. So yeah, it's really quite something. I mean, you put yourself up in a tin can up in space and you're probably going to hear some stuff, right?
I don't know. I would think you need, I would think you would need air, atmosphere to move your eardrum,
I don't know. They were both hearing it. And
no, I know. I'm just saying, I don't know.
Asking each other, because they're like, do you hear that? As I hear it. Do you hear it? Oh yeah, I hear it. And,
it was telepathic.
I don't know what it was. It was something, but I think there's a lot of, microbes have rode up into space and back on the surface of spaceships and survived.
Have you heard about the like prehistoric insects that are in the atmosphere, and planes go through it, and they'll take a net and they'll capture them because they're stuck in the atmosphere for millions of years.
Really?
And they go with a net, yeah, and they go through with a net, and they grab them, and then they bring them back and research them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hope they find a pterodactyl up there.
Insects, man. A big elephant.
Oh, Dumbo. Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger net, right?
We're gonna need a bigger net.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you go. I just wanted to give you a heads up on that sound.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to live with it until I can fix it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Someday I'll have either Restream or StreamYard, one of the two. I gotta figure out. I gotta watch that video a couple more times, and then figure that all out. And then I have to figure out if I have enough. Oh, it's not something you download. It's in the cloud, right? That is a big plus because I don't have much memory on my computer.
Yeah, it's usually with your web browser.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, thank you for everyone saying things in the chat. And I did see Kathy said that the music, she could hear the music. She's listening through a normal computer confuser. So I think if you're listening from a desktop, you can kind of hear it. But if you're listening on the phone, maybe you can't hear it. So
I have an idea. I'm using a Mac. Is she using a Mac or a PC?
She's using a PC. I'm using a Mac too.
There goes my theory.
Yeah, it's an old Mac. I have an old iMac. It's from like 2009.
Hey, so how much? You said you just bought that at Newegg, right?
Yeah, about a year ago.
And it's working fine?
Working great.
Yeah, because I want to get an old Mac because mine doesn't have USB ports.
Oh, really? The newer ones don't have that?
No, it just has the Lightning port.
Yeah, go to Newegg and
how much was it?
This one was only $125.
Yeah, I think I'll do that because I play I use an audio streamer for music.
Oh yeah?
and you can either do it through Wi-Fi or you can plug straight in. And the sound quality is supposed to be a little better if you plug it straight in, but I can't.
Mhm.
All right. So I use Roon, which is like an organizing software for music,
Mhm.
and I can't. So I need the computer to listen to music,
Mhm.
but I can't plug it in with the computer with a USB, and I have to use Wi-Fi.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll go get a revamped MacBook with the inputs. You have all the inputs, right?
No, this isn't a MacBook. This is an iMac. So it's like desktop.
Oh,
It's the big
well,
metal, it's good, big clunky
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
big metal,
Well, it'll be
solid.
the same.
You
It'll be
can,
the same thing. My older MacBooks had all the inputs.
yeah.
They just got rid of them last
They
few years
already have
ago.
laptops there too. But this one has, they put OS X El Capitan,
El Capitan.
1011.6. So mid 2009 to 20-inch screen. It's good. 8
Did you
gigabytes.
find any Hillary emails on it?
8 gigabytes. They wipe them clean and then they put the new operating system on for you. So it doesn't come with the things that my other iMac came with, like GarageBand and everything already on it. Of course, that's all. Did you ever use GarageBand? That's what I created that first music with.
No, I never did.
It's kind of fun.
No, whenever I get a computer, I get rid of as much stuff as I can.
Yeah, I do too.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right. So that's my advice. Go to Newegg. They seem really good. I might get another one from them too. And the nice thing about the iMacs, when you're all done with them, they're so heavy, they're metal, they make great boat anchors. So that's a big plus.
All right, man. All right. Well, have a good night. And
Here.
again, I wasn't trying to complain about the music. I was just trying to make you aware.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that because I have no way of knowing unless I hear. So thank you.
Right.
Good
All
luck
right,
with
man.
the book. Everybody buy his book. It's called
Two of them
Redemption. Redemption. Tony
from
Dennis.
Barnes and Noble, not Nazis on.
Yeah. Put your link in there. Okay. Drop your link.
Yeah, I
in
will.
the chat.
I will. I'm going to leave this. I'll come back and do that.
Buy a bunch of books. We got holidays coming up. You're going to need.
You can make a little. You know what? You could buy like 500 books. Make a little shelter.
There you go.
For your kids can play in it.
Yeah.
But it's not suitable for little kids to read it. So make sure you glue them all shut when you make your little house.
Yeah.
Hey, so how far in are you?
Not very far. Not very far. Not very far. It's very interesting. I'm starting to wonder already what parts of this are really real and which parts aren't. But I think it's mostly fiction, but it seems real. You said the characters were starting to come to life for you, so I imagine what that must be like.
Yeah, it was really funky.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, get reading, man. You got to go to the bathroom more.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right, good night.
All right, take care. Peace in. All right. That was our good friend Tony Dennison. Available at Barnes & Noble, yes. Oh, thank you, Mud Rabbit, for putting my mail up there, my snail mail. P.O. Box 711 Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin 54235. Email is hotgamesandpuzzlesllc@gmail.com. So there you go. And there you have it. Let me see. I'm going to switch this music back to what we had before. And I apologize if it can't be heard by some people. I'll try to keep it down so it doesn't make too much noise. Yeah. All righty then. How do you like that, friends? Our good friend Tony Dennison popped in again. Always good to hear from him. He's a great guy. And very interesting book. And the story about how he wrote the book is interesting too. So he's going to be on after I read the book. So it's the pressure. The pressure's on now. All righty then. Well, we're going to do that magical thing they call screen share again. And what are we going to come to this time? You know, I did a image search for aliens, right? And let's see. I can't tell if this is, one was on DuckDuckGo and one was on Google. Okay, I can't tell which one this one is, but just going from this picture right here, I don't know. There's no way of telling if it's real or not. To be honest, to me, it looks fake. This, I believe, is from a video. I don't know. This fake. This, I don't know what this is. An emaciated guy living in the woods caught on trail cam. I don't know. And this one has always been sort of intriguing. Is it someone wearing a mask, taking a photo with a fisheye lens, or is it an alien? I don't know. It looks like in between human and alien, doesn't it? And then you got this one. Now, what the heck is this? It doesn't even look like a photograph, does it? I mean, it's so weird. I don't know. This one here, I contend, is a real, actual extraterrestrial from the alien autopsy. This one, it's a guy with a mask on, okay? This is a human body, and that's a mask, an oversized rubber mask, okay? It's not real. That's my opinion. This one, I don't know what that's showing. This one has always been intriguing to me, although their heads seem kind of square looking, but we don't know what their heads would look like, do we? No. This is a plant that looks like an alien. Okay, this is a drawing or a painting. This, I don't know. Yeah, it's an old decomposed body of some sort. You can see it's got all the features, 2 eyes, nose, mouth. You know, there's no way to tell if this actually was a human, maybe with some kind of defect that makes the brain swell up. No way of knowing. It's just too decomposed. This is an intriguing picture. I'm not sure exactly what to think of this. It looks like a painting. It could be a photograph. I'm not really sure. I've seen it a couple times. It's intriguing. It's possibly a real photo. I don't know. This is really a real creature caught in a trap, and he can't get out, just like Elvis caught in a trap. But yeah, it was alive until the farmer, I think, drowned it until it died. And so this was down there in South America, down in Mexico or South America. These things are running around down there. There were 2 of them. He caught one of them in a trap. The other one got away. So these things exist. This is real. Okay, this is a real creature. Is it an alien? There's no way to know. There's no way to know. He's not carrying any ID, is he? To me, it looks like a terrestrial animal that we haven't cataloged yet. Some sort of very intelligent rat-like human. You know, I think they discovered what, like 1,800 new species in 1 year recently that we never knew existed before. Like, how can there be that many new things? So when you look at something like this and say, oh, it has to be an alien. No, it doesn't have to be. It looks like a viable critter. I mean, it's got thin skin. It's not going to do well in the cold. I don't think it gets very cold down there, though, where this was found. Here's the Oumuamua. an artist's rendition of the Oumuamua, which was a very large, they called it an asteroid. It was tumbling head over tea kettle through our solar system. It came from a different star system, and it came into our solar system, and then it changed direction and it accelerated. And the reason it did that was because it was in tow by our secret space program. And Corey Good goes over, he talks about how he saw a film that they made of when they went aboard this craft. They had to match the tumble speed of the thing with the craft. They went inside this thing and they pulled out drawers where there was bodies that crumbled when they touched them, and all the crumbles like went up. It's hard to see in there now. But they found in there, the one thing that they found they were very excited about, according to Corey, was there was a room or several rooms there with writings from the Guardians, the original humans from this area from 2 to 3 billion years ago that may have started on Venus. And this is a derelict spacecraft that's covered with the remains of some of the crew members that used to be in this craft, I guess. Very sad. But yeah, it's been picked over. A lot of stuff has been removed from it, technology. And part of the ship was also configured for aquatic beings. So isn't that interesting? Top right corner pick looks most real. Yeah, it could be. Looks like the one on the moon. Mars has monkeys the size of your hand that climb on rovers. Oh, really? Really, Jerry? I'd like to see that. That sounds interesting. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of all that? I got another one for you. I did a couple of searches, so here's another one. Here we go. So this was on DuckDuckGo, Real Alien. Okay. This one looks like a drawing or a painting. Drawing or painting or sculpture. It looks like a digital drawing. This is a video. I say this one's fake. I don't think this one's real. He's flailing around. I don't know. He looks CGI to me. That's just me. It's my opinion. This is a prop. It's in one of these museums. Might even be the one in Roswell. But this is a prop. It's not real. It's rubber. When they were doing the alien autopsy, that video that came out in the 90s, they had to do the autopsy very quickly because the specimen was rapidly deteriorating. So the idea that we could still have bodies around, it's highly unlikely because they rapidly degrade. So they had to do a very rushed job on the, here he is right here. Here's that guy again that someone said looks real. This one's fake, okay, guys? This one right here, is the green tone to it. This one is 100% fake. It's a sculpture, okay? It's totally a sculpture. This one, I just saw this recently a couple of days ago. It looks very gruesome, okay? But it sort of looks fake to me. This one seems real to me. Okay, this one. They found this in Russia in the snow. It looks real to me. I don't know. This one definitely real. So, you look up Real Alien, only a few of them really are real. Most of these are not real. Not real. Not real. Not real. I don't know what this is. Real. Not real. Not real. Not real. Who knows, but probably not. Real. Not 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 real. So, you know, it really is a chore to weed through all of this junk, you know? There's so much junk, you know, and I don't understand why someone would try to fake any of this. It just seems so stupid to do something like that. Unless you're doing like a hoax contest like I've done, then it's okay. All right. Where is that thing? Where did it go? Oh, I gotta go back to the thing here. So there it is. It's all a lie, huh? Everything it told us was a lie. Hey, Cassandra. Cassandra Cohen's in the house. Who else am I missing here that came? And as you look through this batch of pictures, yeah. Oh, here it is. I got it right here. All right, so this one here, I don't know what that is. Looks like some movie or something. Looks gross. This is that real one, I think, from Russia. Some people say it's fake chicken skin. I don't know how you'd make that a chicken skin. Here's Skinny Bob, definitely real alien. This one's a questionable one. It looks real, but you know, we don't know. This is definitely fake. It's you know, 3D imaging. This looks like fake too to me. Looks like a sculpture. This looks like a digital. Here's that fake thing again. Fake. This one, I don't know. It looks a lot like that guy in the mask. This is definitely a fake. It's not real. Not real. This I thought was real for a long time. Then I found out that this was from a movie. But, you know, and I don't know. It looks really real, but I think it might be fake from this movie. So disappointing. This one, again, they kind of look like stick characters. It's like a candid shot from a distance away. They're taking samples. Could be real. I don't know. You know, you don't know. This one, fake. I can't really see what this one is. Oh. So yeah, that's all of those. So there it is. So there you have it. Skinny Bob, yeah. He's my favorite too. I agree with you, Austin. Yeah. Hey, Color Fab. Edward Taylor, hey, what's up? Yeah, trillions of dollars just to scare us. All right. Hi, Cassandra. Well, you are special, Cassandra. Everyone is special. There is only one of you in the world. That goes for everybody. And even identical twins, they're a little bit different. So we're all unique. Everyone is unique. No one else like you. We're very happy to know you, all of you. And it's just a wonderful thing to have this intranet, to be able to see people from all over. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah. How do you like that? I'm going to see if I have anything else here for you to show you. Well, there's always this. And this, of course, is that reptilian or amphibian alien captured by an image sensing camera near Giovanna Pada's apartment or house over there in Italy. And that's one of the characters that was coming there. Was it one of the ones that, because she would find herself pregnant after an abduction, she'd find herself pregnant. And then a number of weeks later, she wouldn't be pregnant anymore after another abduction. So what she did was, between abductions, she had an abortion, and it was not human looking, let's just say. And this is one of the creatures that was coming to her to abduct her. This is one of the beings. Doesn't look very friendly. It's kind of like got like skin color around the nostrils. Like, wow, is it partially human? What is that? Is that weird? So weird. But you know, you look at this creature. Look at his mouth. I mean, this is a real living creature. Okay, this is not a mask that somebody made. This is something that's living. It's alive. Okay, and if it was upright and, you know, tall enough to be seen by the camera, it's kind of spooky. Can you imagine this thing coming to see you? Wouldn't that just freak you out? I mean, can you imagine that poor Giovanna Pata? Man, I feel very bad for her. She had to go through hell. She went through hell. HE double toothpicks, sorry. Yeah, dark brain. If it's fake, it would be very difficult to do. Yeah, and why? I mean, no one's made any money on this. I mean, I can't even find this image anymore. I can't find it. It was part of a video that I took a screenshot from, and I haven't seen it since. I can't find that video. It's gone. So I might have the only images of this darn thing, you know? I don't know. Looks like the amphibian Venerians from Space Cadet by R.A. Heinlein. Okay. Interesting. The novel was illustrated by Clifford Gary and had an illustration of amphibian humanoids. Yeah, apparently there's humanoids that, you know, that look like every animal that we have here. Apparently. The universe is just teeming with all kinds of strange life. And why wouldn't it be, right? Why wouldn't it be? That's what I say. So that's a pretty cool looking dude. I think this is going to be the thumbnail for the show today. I usually make a thumbnail after, so I'll just take a screenshot of it here. I'll wave too. No, I won't be waving. Anyway, yeah, there it is. That'll be the that weird looking frog looking dude. You think he looks more like a frog or a turtle? He looks kind of like a turtle, doesn't he? Maybe he's a ninja turtle. Teenage type. What do you think? Yeah, it might be significant that the image is now missing. I agree. And the other two images too that came along with this. And let me just get those on up here for you. The other images from that same case. Always one of the most intriguing ones to me. It's pretty darn intriguing, I would say. So here's two other creatures caught by the same camera system. And here you got, this was one of the craft that left. She would take pictures of these craft when they left after they abducted her. And she'd grab her camera and get some footage of these things. One of them shows some stuff dripping off. You know, some UFOs have stuff dripping off of them. Okay, now this is a stretched photo. Okay, it's stretched. I've taken this photo in other cases and I've squished it down where it looks more real. Apparently, this is one of the beings that covered with this glow-in-the-dark stuff that is some material that glows in the dark and glows under black light. But it's something that was left behind in fingerprints in Giovanna Pata's apartment or bedroom when she was abducted by these creatures. It's a very bizarre case with a lot of evidence, a lot of photographic evidence, and they had a fetus of, looked like a reptilian, human reptilian, and it had 3 fingers and a thumb. And they show a close-up of the hand, definitely 3 fingers and a thumb. And there's another, so we've seen so far this alien here and the amphibian one, and the other one, oh man, it's pretty big. I make that a little bit smaller. There we go. And the other one, and this guy, I think could be a rock star. So we got to hurry up and get Space Force going so we can, you know, get some of these aliens into a rock band. Because look at this guy. He looks like a lead singer of some group, doesn't he? I'm sure MTV would just love videos from this guy. Don't you think? Or some new show, some truther show. You like that? He looks like a hybrid. Very human. His lips look very human. Nose, very human. His eyes look human, but larger. And he's got these furrowed brows. Oops. These very prominent, sticking out brows. He must have a very interesting skull. And then this feature here where his the brain cavity must be very large in this being. So yeah, very intelligent. He looks very smart. Looks friendly. Looks like he could be in a rock band. So maybe he could be in a rock band. Maybe Tony Dennison could jam with him for a while. We'll teach him some instruments to play. Something simple, right? Something simple. Now, I've shown this before, but you know, I just think this is one of the coolest pictures out there. And no one else has, I've never seen anyone else show it. You can see some of the wording here on the bottom of the Italian show that it came from, right? And you see the double zoom there, look at that. Devolution, yeah. Michael J. Fox. Flock of haircuts, yeah. Good one, Abby. Sings in Klingon. Yeah. People actually take Klingon. They learn a fake language You know, I don't know if I would do that. I think I would probably want to learn some real languages before I went ahead and learned a fake language. Or else I'd probably just want to make up my own language. I think that'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? We are not men, we are Devo. Yeah, there you go. He does kind of look like Devo. And he's got like David Lee Roth hair, but it's like white. Like yeah. So that's interesting. I've always liked that picture. And it looks real to me. Now, all these pictures from this case, to me, look real. Now, I want to have Paula Harris on, and I would love to ask her questions about this to see if she knows anything about this, because she's also an Italian resident, or she's a citizen of Italy and America. And I've interviewed her before. So I'd like to interview her again and talk to her about this case, see what she knows about it and what her opinion is on it. And if these images that I keep showing here are indeed really from that case, or were these just mocked up for the TV show. But I think if they just mocked it up, it wouldn't look this good. You know, I don't know, man. Klingon is a made-up language that is intended to sound coarse and ugly. Yeah, yeah. Some people would say that about German, a lot of guttural sounds too, you know. Yeah, the English language does need some help, Abby. You're right. You know, they had the Unifon alphabet, I think in the 50s. It was what, 13 letters, and each letter had its own specific sound. So you didn't have like two letters that have the same sound like we have, you know, like an S and a C can sound the same, like city starts with C, but has a S sound to it. So the Unifon alphabet wouldn't have that. There you go. And there you have it. So there we have it, folks. What do you think about that? And since this is the 77th episode, I got to say, you know, it reminds me of 1977 and a very pivotal year, because that's the year Elvis Presley passed away or faked his death. So that's something else. And yeah. I hope that you can all hear my voice okay. I hope this, is that music too loud? I hope it's not popping for some people. Maybe I should turn it down a bit. I'll turn it down so it's not as intrusive to some people. That's as low as I can make it go. There. English slang is always evolving. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It sure is, isn't it? I don't use swear words very often. So I like to. I went to into seventh grade in 1977. Oh, okay, Abby. Very interesting. Yeah, 1977. Doesn't seem like that long ago. It really is, though, isn't it? Oh, Edward Taylor. I have the book, The Truth About Elvis Aaron Presley, by Dr. Hinton. Edward, is that the one by Dr. Hinton? That book's worth like over $1,000. You can't buy them if that's the book I'm thinking of. Yeah, interesting. Oh, you can hardly hear the music? Want me to turn it up? Well, I turn it down because some people say it pops. Wow. Have you checked the price of that book, Edward? Because you can't find those books. You should do a videotape the book, read the book, or put it out there. That's awesome. Schmetterling? I missed this. Butterfly is Schmetterling? Oh, that in German? Or is that in I don't know. I guess I can't. Sometimes you come in late on a conversation and it's like, well, I'm not sure exactly what to say there. Yeah. Oh, you had no idea that it was worth money? Yeah, apparently it's out of print. And let me look it up. Okay, let me see. What's called the truth about Elvis Aaron Presley. Yeah, his birth certificate had ARON, but his gravestone says AARON. And that's because 3 months before he died, 3 or 4 months before he died, he wanted to change his middle name to the biblical spelling. They checked with the hospital, and they said, no, it's listed as AA on our copy of the birth certificate. So it was misspelled on the Presley's version. So all this time it was the AA. And Elvis was very happy about that because he wanted the biblical spelling. He wanted it to be the biblical spelling because it was important to him. So, okay, I'm looking up that book, Shopping. I don't know what it looks like. There's all kinds of books here, but The Truth About Elvis Aaron Presley. I think I have to put Hinton in there. I don't see it. It's not in. I can't even find it. So, just trying to do a quick search here, and not finding it. Interesting. I looked it up before and I found it right away. Anyway, I'm having a hard time finding it, but maybe someone else can check. No, not seeing it. Isn't that strange? Wow, maybe they scrubbed it. Could be. It wouldn't be the first time they've done something like that. Dogpile.com. Dogpile? Never heard of it. Dogpile? Never heard of Dogpile. Of course, there's lots of things I've never heard of. You know, you can be on the internet for many hours a day and still I just heard something that shouldn't be making noise over there. What was that? Oh. Now I gotta go back and grab that again. Truth about Elvis. The truth about Elvis Aaron Presley Hinton. Copy. We'll check Dogpile. I don't know what Dogpile is. I'm not sure. Is this some like DuckDuckGo or something? Book. I'm not seeing it. And you know, and this makes for real boring streaming to have me looking for something and not finding it. This is not good. This might be it. Donald Hinton, yeah, okay. The truth about Elvis Aaron Presley in his own words. List price $12.95, but it's crossed out. Crossed out. Can't get it. There's no price. Well, how come there's no price on it? I don't know. I don't know how this works. I've never been on this site before. I don't know how to do anything on here. Dr. Donald Hinton. Okay, it's 88 pages. And it's called The Truth About Elvis Aaron Presley in His Own Words. And I'll just take this image and show you what it looks like. And you can tell me if this is the one that you have. All right. Let me go back here. Where are we? There we are. Way over there. My goodness. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Oh, you know what? I haven't liked the show yet. And if I haven't, I bet someone else hasn't. I'm going to get, I'm number 22. That's my lucky number. I'll have to play that in the lottery. I think I just saw some lightning. What was that? What, pray tell, was that? Oh, we got someone in the house here. Let's see. Oh, it's raining outside. Lovely. Hello?
Hello, this is Austin.
Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Great. Get the sound turned down here. So I was just calling to remark on the butterfly thing.
Okay.
It's an old joke. It was I heard it television years and years ago. Just a joke about words languages.
Okay.
There's an Italian man says that the most beautiful language is Italian.
Hmm.
I mean, every word is beautiful and mellifluous and really just sings. I mean, just look at the word for butterfly. Italian word for butterfly is mariposa. And then a Frenchman interrupts and says, no, the most beautiful language is French. The French word for butterfly is papillon. What a pretty word that is, papillon. And then the German says, and what is wrong with Schmetterling?
Okay.
So that's maybe relevant to any discussion of Klingon.
Okay. So that was German?
Yeah, it was German. And what is wrong with Schmetterling?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, German is a kind of a rough and tumble, kind of guttural, kind of very Klingon type sounding language, I would say.
Yeah, invented by God to be the language of bad guys in old war movies.
But you know,
But anyway,
Billy Meyer, when Billy Meyer found and his friend Isra Rashid, the priest Isra Rashid, found the Talmud of Emmanuel. Isra Rashid quit the church and started a family and started translating these scrolls from Aramaic to German. And Billy Meyer says that the German language is the closest to God's language.
Okay.
Yeah,
There, I'm refuted. Okay.
no, I don't know.
Of course, the Friedrich Schiller was called the world's greatest poet of freedom, and he wrote his poetry in German. So there again, it's I think an awful lot of it comes down to intent.
Yeah. But that's a really interesting read if you ever read the Talmud of Emmanuel. Jemanuel starts with a J. But yeah, they found.
Yeah. Well, I think the J is probably pronounced like our letter Y in English.
Yeah, Emmanuel. Yeah.
Mm.
But,
Probably. I think that's the way it's done. That part of the world.
Yeah,
I believe.
They found
my knowledge is very limited.
Schmetterling.
Things like
Schmetterling. Well, that part was cute. That's what Dark Brain says. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
and
go ahead.
also had a little comment more on the secret space program.
Okay.
My approach to trying to understand it.
Okay.
See, the thought has occurred to me, and admittedly, I haven't accomplished much, but the thought has occurred to me that if, of course, something's being covered up and it's secret, it's all secret.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no direct way to get at the truth, but there have to be indirect ways. There have to be approaches where we can kind of go around the edges of the problem and work our way through, find some kind of backdoor answer. So I look for oddities, discrepancies, and just anomalies in the official stories and official histories, just to see what I can find, see what turns up.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had very much success with this, but one thing that just bugs me, that sticks in my mind, that I have to tell somebody, even though it may be, even though you may think it a little crazy, but another anomaly. You see, the first time I talked about this subject, I had a story about two anomalous spacesuits that were clues of a secret space program.
Yeah,
I found there is another spacesuit. It's not exactly anomalous, but it's a strange story nonetheless. This is a case of something important, I believe, that's been hidden in plain sight. Because years ago, because of my obsession with all things to do with space, I was reading looking through old back issues of the trade journal Aviation Week and space technology. Because if you're interested in the Apollo era, that 60s space race era, where the most spectacular adventures occurred, you would need to see this original material from back then, the source material, so to speak, the beginnings, and it's just fascinating stuff. If you ever have an opportunity to look at old back issues of Aviation Week that you could find in libraries. And one thing I kept seeing for a period of time during this window of time in the late 60s, well, late 60s to say 71, that period, 69 through 71, say, the company Litton Industries would advertise their spacesuit. And I was taken aback because it made no sense to me. You see, the Project Mercury, of course, every Mercury astronaut has a spacesuit, and it's built by B.F. Goodrich. The life support system, formally the prime contractor for the spacesuit was Hamilton Standard Division of United Aircraft, which built the life support system, and the spacesuit was counted as a subcontract under the life support contract. And the subcontract went to B.F. Goodrich to actually build a spacesuit, while the life support that provided air for it, circulated the air in it and got the carbon dioxide out and such, was built by Hamilton Standard Division of United Aircraft. That was Project Mercury. Project Gemini, that followed Mercury, the two-man spaceship that followed Mercury. The standard spacesuit was by David Clark Industries, and again, they were subcontractors under Hamilton Standard Division of United Aircraft that built the life support. And then in Project Apollo, the Apollo spacesuit, the most complex and difficult one of all, was built by International Latex Rubber Company, which I think is based in, I can't remember whether it's Connecticut or New York, but New England company. And again, the life support was from Hamilton Standard Division of United Aircraft, another New England-based company. So the first three important space programs of the 60s, it's basically the same team, three different companies building the spacesuits, but the same parent company, the same prime contractor building the life support. And the Apollo suit, if you've ever looked at it, it's hard to find any fault in it. It worked. It was workable. It was doable, and they landed on the moon with it. So, yeah. So what does Litton Industries have to do with it? See, they're not. So it made little sense to me. But the ads told the story, saying things that made even less sense to me. Yeah. According to the material in these advertisements from these old magazines, the Litton Industries company got involved building spacesuits back in the 1940s. Wow. Before anybody else was. Supposedly, the story that they tell, which, like I say, I can't make much sense out of it, but the company would test their electronic devices in a vacuum chamber, and this was back in the days of vacuum tubes. So the technology would be tested in vacuum chambers, and they'd have to have a test engineer in the chamber with the devices they were testing to observe the testing. Right. So they needed a spacesuit. Oh, okay. And this is a spacesuit being built before there ever was a space program. Right. Wow. So the company literature says. Interesting. So Litton Industries started this process of developing spacesuits before anybody else did, so they say. Mm-hmm. So they said in their advertising. So these advertisements from the late 60s were showing us experimental spacesuits built by Litton Industries that actually were more advanced than the suits NASA was building for the actual real-life astronauts. Wow. The Litton Industries suit was an armored design. It was like a medieval suit of armor. It was rigid. Okay. Well, I mean, it had fabric components, but it was mostly a rigid suit.
Sure.
that the suit sections would fit together with some kind of O-ring snap-together arrangement that was extremely advanced for that time and probably extremely advanced for our time as well. Looked at in the pictures. And the suits were built to have a modular design, and they would have different size portions that could be mass-produced and put in an inventory, and then you assemble the sections to the body dimensions of whoever's wearing the suit for a specific task. And then when they get finished, the pieces all go back into inventory. They're not personalized to the wearer.
Okay.
They can be adapted to different body types and body sizes. So,
Okay.
but through a mix and match system. So you could have a standard parts inventory, mass produce large numbers of the parts. Say if you needed to send 1,000 people to the moon to build a moon base, these are the spacesuits they could wear.
Sure.
According to this Litton Industries plan and all these advertisements from circa 1969 through 71, thereabouts.
Well, that
And I was fascinated because
that makes a lot more sense than the way they did it.
yeah, the way they did it, but the way they did it was because there was no initial plan to ever put large numbers of people into space. It was a space race with the Russians, and it was just get it done on time within budget quickly as possible and
Right.
follow the pattern of aviation spacesuits that had previously existed. So this Litton Industries thing was very, very cutting edge and avant-garde and basically irrelevant to what NASA was doing.
Wow.
And earlier I mentioned the prime contractor was actually Hamilton Standard that built the life support. And then the space suit would be a subcontractor's work under the direction of Hamilton Standard because the life support was so important and so difficult to build, such a difficult piece of engineering, really complicated engineering. Like, for example, if you look at the Project Mercury spacecraft, the first American spacecraft with a human being aboard, it's small. It's very small. It's cone-shaped and small, carries one person with very little cubic space inside that cone-shaped cabin. It's basically a missile nose cone with a man stuck in it. So what the heck is the life support like? Well, basically, from the diagrams I've seen, the life support was in a box that the man's sitting on. I mean, it's under his butt. It's a box-like area which contains a life support that has to sustain a human life for like 3 days or so with air.
Wow.
Recycling the well, I mean, not scrubbing out the carbon dioxide and providing oxygen. So this is a complicated engineering problem. Okay, and Hamilton Standard was leading the way, the Hamilton Standard division of United Aircraft. Well, the Litton Industry suit, Litton Industry was a West Coast company, or either Texas or West Coast, I can't remember which, but they're not in New England. And the Hamilton Standard Company had nothing to do with it. The life support system for the Litton Industries suit was built by something called Garrett Air Research, a West Coast company. I can't remember if it was West Coast or Arizona, but it was in the West. The point being, this is a different geographical area, different people, different companies, and they're not using the same patents. Even they've got a completely parallel development track going on that they claim goes back all the way to the 40s before there ever even was a space program. That to me was quite fascinating, and it was in these old magazines. Well, I tried to look this up on the internet to get some kind of confirmation because I don't have these magazines. I'm just remembering from memory of things I'd seen.
Sure.
So I wanted confirmation of what this was all about.
Sure. From
the web. So I tried to find the Litton Industries spacesuit, and I found, I said this had been hidden in plain sight. There's a museum display in Texas, and it's got what was called the RX-2 an experimental spacesuit, a prototype built by Litton Industries. And that's all it basically tells you.
I got it right here.
All this rich background material that I was remembering reading wasn't on any websites I could find. They gave all this extra detail about what was going on with the Litton Industries suit, and no real confirmations of the big advantages this architecture spacesuit design would give you. Basically, very little. I couldn't find. See, I'm not sure those pictures are. Maybe one or two of those would actually be the Litton Industry design, but most of them look like
pressure suit, Litton,
other people's spacesuits.
Litton B1A pressure suit RX2A.
Okay, you found more than I found. I couldn't really find much on the web that confirmed the story that I was remembering from memory.
Okay.
And it occurred to me that basically this would be the ideal architecture for spacesuit designs for a secret space program that wanted to keep its footprint unseen by us. Sure. But at the same time, the contractor gets to do their advertising with a story that didn't make sense to me about the guy in the this guy in the vacuum chamber back in the 40s needing a spacesuit. that sounded. Other electronic companies don't need to do that. I mean, they would find other ways to test their apparatus without having to put somebody in a vacuum chamber with the apparatus. But that's what Litton Industries claimed that they were doing. It just sounded an unlikely story to me. And anyway, I took that as being possible evidence in the sense of being indirect evidence for a secret space program. Hidden with some features that are just basically hidden in plain sight, where you just see it as something else, as a prototype. A prototype, like a one-off prototype tested at Ames Research Center at such and such time and with such and such result, and then retired to a museum somewhere, which is basically what the official story is going to tell you now. And I have no way of really refuting it. I just found this material and felt it was important.
Here's what one of them says. It's a very short paragraph. Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just going to have my computer read it, okay?
The suit was manufactured by Litton Industries, which made a series of advanced extravehicular suits, AES, during the early 1960s that were of a constant volume, whether pressurized or unpressurized. This one is a hybrid, identified as a Model B1A, of which approximately 6 were made, and was not equipped with a thermal cover layer. It had a hemispherical helmet made of polycarbonate. These experimental suits were designed to maintain an almost perfectly constant volume while enabling a full range of body motions. They could operate at higher pressure, thus reducing the time-consuming oxygen pre-breathing period before extravehicular activities. Transferred to the National Air and Space Museum from NASA in 1979.
That's it. That's all it said.
Yeah, that's just it. That's way less than I remember reading in this older material.
Well, good thing.
Way less, but it's only in my memory. I don't have the primary source material, so I don't have anything. I don't have anything publishable or any way of asserting this as proof of something. But it just stuck in my mind as being significant.
Now it's out of your mind. It's into the intranet. It's heading out there into space. It's going out into space, and people will be able to hear about it. Now on, right? There you go.
Yeah. I attended a lecture by Ken Johnson of the Johnson Space, who was Kenneth. I think his name was Ken Johnson. He was a former NASA employee who worked as a test engineer, who tested a lot of spacesuits, and he had been lecturing. And I asked him directly about the Litton Industries spacesuit, and he had no idea what I was talking about.
Okay.
He'd not heard of it. He was not part of that particular project, which is interesting too. It was that's whatever it was. It got it got pigeonholed far away from people who were actually testing the things that were going to go to the moon.
Right. Now Ken Johnston, he's comparing notes with Andrew Basiago because Andrew remembers him on the surface of Mars, and he remembers it too. he was riding something called the Hopper, and it was kind of like a flying machine that would go and rescue people. So he had rescued these people, Bernie Mendez and Andrew, a couple times when they couldn't get out of an area, and he had to come. And so, yeah, Ken Johnston is one of Andrew Basiago's witnesses. He was part of this.
Yeah, Johnston. I couldn't remember the name correctly.
Johnston, yeah, Johnston. And he's got autographs from like all 50 astronauts, you know, saying, hey, because he trained them all. He was helping to train all these people, right? He was helping to train them, and he was testing. They would, all the equipment would have to be extensively tested well in advance. And you have to have test engineers. I mean, I mentioned those other spacesuits. They have to be built to the body measurements of the wearer and personalized, basically. And there are lots of pictures of Ken Johnston wearing an Apollo spacesuit and a Gemini spacesuit. He would have been involved in the everything the astronauts would do. He would do first in a test environment on Earth to try to iron out any engineering faults, identify faults, and iron out problems. Well, and Johnston, go ahead.
He's also the character, the person who saved all these images of the moon, which showed anomalies.
Yep. Ken Johnston.
These things were supposed to have been destroyed, and he didn't destroy them. He saved them.
Thank God. Yeah.
So there's another hero. I mean, he's probably
a truth hero.
Yeah, he's definitely a key figure in any discussion.
I gotta get him
space programs or space secrets in general. But
Ken Johnston, if you're out there, come on the show. Email me. Message me. I'm on Facebook. My phone number is even on Facebook.
I just had this thought that these rigid spacesuits from Litton Industries and maybe some other developers of the similar ideas might have been applied somewhere else for somebody else's space program that we just haven't been told about.
Could very well
the idea I had.
That's good thinking. Yeah.
But that thing from the 60s was sticking in my mind and just bugging me that I couldn't find much in the way of validation of the memories I had of things I had read.
You know what I think we should do is have an international manned mission to the moon to number one, bury any bodies that are up there or bring them back. Because I think there's a couple cosmonauts on the far side that crashed. And also we need to pick up the 850 pounds of human waste in bags on the surface of the moon. No wonder the Galactic Council is teed up.
Well,
we can't even clean up after ourselves.
Yeah, well, that's the problem is if you pick them up, then you have to set them down someplace else.
Just slingshot them to the sun, and they'll just burn up in the atmosphere.
Well, it's a joke they told on Raj told on the Big Bang Theory show concerning the Aquaman comic book. Didn't know if you heard that or not.
No, I have never watched the show. What did he say?
Well, they were discussing Aquaman being the lamest of all superheroes, which, of course, there's been a spectacular Aquaman movie recently that refutes that. But anyway, at the time, I can remember it from my childhood, and I never thought much of Aquaman.
Yeah.
I mean, his big superpower was that he could talk to fish.
Right.
But anyway, Aquaman was supposed to be the prince of the lost city of Atlantis, which is under the sea. So they would show this advanced super city under the sea with the Atlanteans living there. They were all like mermaids and mermen. Mm-hmm. And the thing about what Raj was asking was, okay, you've got a city under the sea, and there they all are. And I mean, how do they go to the toilet? And if they go to the toilet and you flush the toilet, where does it flush to?
Yeah. Well, you know,
where does it go?
that's my theory about lakes and rivers and stuff. You know, what percentage of that water is now fish whiz? You know, how much of it?
Well,
How much of it is fish whiz?
well,
Probably all of it.
well, logic tells you it all has to be recycled somehow.
Yeah.
It all has to go through some kind of cycle.
Speaking of recycling, now I don't know if you've heard any of Corey Good's testimony, but on board these ships, when you drink something on these vessels, these research vessels they have, or all the spaceships they have in the secret space program, when you go and you get a glass of lemonade or a glass of soda or whatever you want to drink, it's filtered wastewater.
Yeah, that would take some getting used to. What I can't really, I've heard that they have pretty much that very system on the current International Space Station to recycle their water, because one of the big logistical bottlenecks in any plan anybody has to do stuff out there with human beings, you've got to ship water to them. You've got to find some way to transport the water.
Mm-hmm.
And when this space station thing was being discussed before it was built for financing it with the taxpayer dollars, some skeptical congressman, it was probably Walter Mondale, just went over how many billions of dollars we're going to be spending just to send bottled water up to the space station, just so they can have a drink of water.
Yeah.
And it was quite a lot of money just for that alone. And the same economics are going to apply to just about anything you can name people doing out there. There's logistical bottlenecks that have to be, maybe if not solved, at least put into some kind of perspective or some kind of understanding that would lead to a solution. That's going to be true. This thing about Elon Musk wanting to colonize Mars, the big rocket that he wants to build and launch from Texas, they say that their maximum launch rate from the Texas site, when it's at its peak, when they get it all up and running, they don't have it ready yet, but when it's up and running, 5 per year. And I can't remember how much that rocket's going to carry, but the idea is it's going to support a colony on Mars, 5 per year. What kind of colony are we talking about that could get by with relief flights from Earth that often? Whatever tonnage they can carry up from Earth to Mars, 5 times a year. Is that really going to be enough to sustain a human colony?
Right.
I imagine the Martians are going to have to recycle like crazy, and they're going to have to identify sources on Mars they can use for their survival. And if they figure it wrong, people could die.
Yeah.
It's not a place that would be, if all you're talking about is rocket travel, it's not a place that's ever going to be easy to get to by rocket.
Right.
And it's not going to be a place easy to get back home from by rocket. I mean, the logistics are discouraging. I don't say that I think it's impossible. I'm saying the logistics are discouraging if you're depending on big chemically fueled rockets to carry up the supplies.
Right.
That really, before Elon Musk came along, I would have said it couldn't be done at all. But he's demonstrated reusability of components of the rocket systems, which is, if all you've got to work with are rockets, that's a necessary step. That makes a lot of sense if that's all you've got to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm not so certain about the logistics. But one peculiarity that kind of keys in with all of our New Age or UFO related interest, or just the weird paranormal stuff. In the late 1940s, when Werner Von Braun came over to our country from Germany with Project Paperclip, he was for a while. It took it took quite a few months to get a rocket program for the Army up and running. And in the meantime, he was sort of had nothing to do. I mean, he was on an Army base, living in temporary housing and not living very well, but probably still very lucky to be out of Germany. But still, he was left with a lot of time on his hands for a number of months, and he wrote a novel, a science fiction novel, about people going to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And in his novel, the leader of the effort to go to Mars was named Elon.
Right. Yeah. Kind of interesting.
So there's a web program called Space Force News, where they have a segment every Sunday night called The King of Mars. They have this cute cartoon of, I believe it's Elon Musk riding a giant Pomeranian dog, the King of Mars.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of cute and silly, but still, it's one of those interesting little things. I mean, the purpose of science fiction is not supposed to be to act as prophecy and prediction, but still, things like that keep happening. Just little bitty zingers where something clicks and it appears to be like sort of low grade prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
That happens again and again. It's like your portrait of the amphibian face. It just reminded me so strongly of those illustrations that I had seen many years ago in that Robert Heinlein novel. And of course, the thing you did was called Space Cadets, I believe,
Yeah.
to show you the presentation. And of course, that term really enters our vocabulary with Heinlein's novel in the late 40s. I can't remember the exact year, but Space Cadet by Robert Heinlein was something I read when I was real young. Had these illustrations from a man named Clifford Geary, who did pen and ink drawings for it that used an unusual technique. He was a expert illustrator, but not a science fiction illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
And it made an odd difference because he was determined not to follow the conventions of sci-fi illustration of that time. No bug-eyed monsters or women wearing stainless steel bikinis. None of that in a Clifford Geary illustration. And the way he did the artwork sticks in my mind. I can remember those illustrations clearly in my mind.
Maybe I should
decades after I read these books.
Uh-oh. Guess who that is?
Yeah, probably Max.
It's our good friend Max. Max.
Yes, hi, Aaron.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I thought I'd call a little later so that somebody wanted to talk, they could talk, and I didn't interrupt them.
Yeah, well, Austin's talking right now. Say hi to Austin.
Okay. Hi, Austin.
Hello, Max. Good to hear you.
So what's
the topic?
What's the topic? We got several topics. I just put a picture up. I haven't mentioned anything about it yet, so I better. It's a picture of two aliens. It's from a video, a very small video clip that's in the Skinny Bob material. And it's a color, it's kind of like a washed out color, and it shows several aliens walking and looking at each other. Then they look right at the camera, then the camera goes off. Apparently, according to the story, they were not supposed to film these creatures, but someone did. They hit a camera and they noticed it. They knew where it was, and there was some trouble, I guess, because they weren't supposed to be filming them. But I'm glad that they did, because we need that footage as much as we can.
Yeah,
So,
these look like two gray guys, and they've got on, looks like turtleneck sweaters from the picture. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
Huh.
If you watch the footage, it's pretty good. I mean, it's fuzzy, but it's really good. They do really look alive. It doesn't look fake to me, so I think it's really legitimate. And he's wearing an outfit very similar to Skinny Bob's, with the, like you said, the turtleneck. Yeah. Very curious.
Huh.
Very curious. And a head shape very similar to Skinny Bob too. Could be.
It does. Somebody remarked on the chat, it does look like maybe it's one alien looking in a mirror.
No, they were walking. If you watch,
They were walking. You're sure of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's like 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
This picture only shows a couple of them, but and then the one looks right at the camera guy, and then it stops. So yeah, that's what that is. So what's new with you, Max? How's it going?
Pretty good. I've been watching some videos. This is one that I know you probably won't agree with until you see it. But Richard Dolan's most recent post might be his last, because he really laid into the deep state.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he talked about everything under the sun, which I won't mention here.
Okay.
But he talked about everything. He talked about what happened on January 6th wasn't really what they said it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and it's obvious he's awake now.
Well, I don't know.
6 months ago, however,
I don't know.
he wasn't, for sure.
I'm not convinced yet. I'm not convinced. I think.
Well, you got to go see that, Aaron. I really mean it. You got to go see that.
Well,
because
you know,
it will convince you, I think.
He's their golden boy. They're gonna dress him up and make him seem like a truther. That's my opinion. I don't know. I don't think anything can shake it. I'm pretty firm on that. I'm pretty firm on that. The way he went after Corey Good, it was unprofessional. It was uncalled for, and it was completely antithetical to the call for unity in the community. So I can't forgive him. I can't forgive him for that. He'll have to come on my show and personally apologize to me before I'll ever watch another one of his videos. That's just the way.
I'd have to agree with you on that, what you just said, but at the same time, there's lots of people right now in this world changing in a dramatic way, and I think, you know, I think he's one of them. But I mean, I respect the fact that you have a difference of opinion. That's okay.
Everybody's got a difference of opinion. I trust gas station sushi more. I trust. Yeah, there's a whole thing that I could say, but I'm not going to. I just, when someone shows their colors, I don't forget it very, very soon. That's just my opinion.
Well, maybe some of your watchers can go look and see what they think.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't really. There's only been a few episodes of what he puts on that were that spectacular to me. Anyway, I mean, he put some spectacular episodes on there, like 4 or 5 part series on the Kennedy assassination. Mm-hmm. Now that was really spectacular.
Okay.
So that I recommend people go see that. There's a few others, but so for the most part, it's one of those shows that you get halfway through it and you're like, why did I watch this?
Mm-hmm.
But he does have some good. He has had some good content. But anyway,
yeah,
we'll change the subject. Yeah. So have you been working on any new jigsaw puzzles?
Oh yeah, you know what? I have
been really good at these things.
Funny you should mention that, because I just finished a jigsaw puzzle, and it only took me like a day and a half, and I don't know what the genius level is, but the box said clearly on it 3 to 6 years. So I did it in a day and a half. Man, I'm telling you, I must be pretty smart. There you go.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah.
I have to admit, I stole that from a AOC meme. AOC memes are very good. Very good.
When you told me that the other night, I about fell out of my chair.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. I like that one. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. Jokes are good. Jokes are good. Let me see. Speaking of jokes. So what's new? What's new in your world besides the Richard Dolan thing?
Well, I've been trying to get through these David Wilcock videos there.
It'd take a little doing.
I'm still on the one before this, and I fell asleep 3 times trying to watch it. I've seen the end of it, and I've seen the beginning, but I haven't seen the middle.
He's so funny. He is so funny.
I mean, he's got some folks. The most recent one is there's pretty real. If you like anti-gravity discussions or whatever,
yeah.
The last 45 minutes are pretty spectacular.
Oh yeah. I do love anti-gravity. In fact, I was just reading his book about anti-gravity, and I couldn't put it down.
So that's pretty spectacular.
Couldn't put it down. It was on anti-gravity. I couldn't put it down. Oh man.
But bump.
When you have to wait and do the drum roll, then it's a bomb.
Humor again.
A bombed joke.
Well, bombed joke, but it's got. I've spent money on books trying to find more about that subject. I bought books on anti-gravity. I'd have trouble remembering the titles off the top of my head, but
well, there's a lot of information on anti-gravity floating around out there.
There's a
floating around.
Yeah, floating around. That's but there's a scientist named Laviolette, lives in New York, who's written a number of books on, but he has his own comprehensive theory of cosmology, and it just so happens that if he's right, then some of the ideas of anti-gravity become plausible and doable. So that makes him interested in anti-gravity as a kind of byproduct of his main line of thinking. So that's Paul A. Laviolette, who I would recommend as an interesting person with some really, really neat ideas. He does not support the mainstream physics Big Bang cosmology, which means he's relegated to the fringes, but he's a first-class mind, in my view. That's Paul A. Laviolette.
Just for the record, I am also one of the I don't believe that either.
Well, David Wilcock claims because of one of his channeling sessions that he's the father of anti-gravity.
Oh, really? No, I just don't believe the Big Bang Theory. I think the Big Bang Theory is not right. But that's just my thing.
Yeah, that I'm totally in agreement on that. That the cosmology, it's an example of what I was talking about last night. The sabotage being done to our culture on the conceptual and philosophical level. An underlying level of reality has been attacked long before any physical harm was done to our country.
Yes.
And that's a part of it, or a symptom of it.
Mm-hmm.
Physics theories that are worse than useless.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that makes me instant crackpot in the eyes of anyone who's really serious about physics out there.
Yeah, but anyone who's intelligent and has real legitimate curiosity can't keep away from this stuff because there's so much. There is so much. There's not just a little teeny bit. There's a lot. There's a lot.
And it means so much to all of humanity.
It does, yeah. Look how more advanced we are because of the Apollo program. If they would have kept the Apollo program secret, we still wouldn't even have handheld calculators or digital watches. We wouldn't have that stuff. That all came from the advancements of the Apollo program. Oh, and Austin, if you want to read a book, and Max too, about the Apollo program, when it was started in the early 60s, read Selected by Extraterrestrials by William Mills Tompkins.
I've got to read that.
Because he talks about, he's the guy that he designed the building that they built the rockets in. He's the one that figured out how to build it vertically. He said, let's build it vertically instead of horizontally and then tipping it up and it explodes. Let's just build it vertically. Let's make an airtight, air-conditioned, tall building to build these things in. And then like a tram system or like a tank that brings it out to the launch pad. He designed all that. He also designed the area where the scientists were watching all the information coming on the panels. He designed that. And I mean, he just did it all. And so he also designed the computer checkout system that all 30,000 subcontractors had to put their parts that they built for the Apollo program through this system to check things out to make sure everything would work. And boy, it was a stack of coding paper, you know, it was those insert the paper with the holes in it to run the computer. So this was all done by hand. But and the computer they designed, they were looking at crash wreckage stuff. They were looking at you know, alien artifacts to design this computer checkout system. These rudimentary computers they were building. So yeah, you'd get a lot of information of the early times of NASA before it was even NASA, because Douglas Aircraft and TRW, all the places he was working for, they were working on this stuff for the Navy and for NASA. So yeah, so much information there. It's incredible. You'd really like that, Austin.
Yeah.
David, I don't know if you know this, but David plans to, you know, to build these personal anti-gravity craft for people, right? So he's actually entered into agreement. He says he's on the board of directors of this new company, and that they've actually just bought a building to do the production of these vehicles.
Oh boy!
And so it sounds like it's pretty serious. He tells a little bit about the guy who's in charge. His alias is Ben. He claims the guy is the one that has the intimate knowledge of how these things work. And,
oh, I can't wait to see this. This is, I don't know. Did you ever watch Iron Man? The first movie? Remember when he got his jet boots going and he was in his lab and he was like
the ceiling?
Yeah, he hit the ceiling. I'm imagining something like that with David Wilcock. He's going to come out and, you know, we got these personal vehicles, but we also got these boots, and I'm going to try these out right now. Boom, boom, right in the ground.
Yeah.
Whoa.
A little robot grazing with this fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I think that would be hilarious. I mean, it wouldn't be funny if he got hurt, but I mean, I can picture it. In my mind, it's humorous. It's not hurtful.
Yeah, it was a funny part of the movie.
Yeah, but yeah, that's interesting.
So that's the most interesting part of the whole 4 hours that he put out was the last 30, 45 minutes or something. But the other stuff was interesting. He was telling about how these writings that he channeled in end of 1999, and he can document that's actually when he wrote them, are descriptions of what's going on now, and that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only problem with you know, David Wilcock, the way he tells you this stuff, he's got so much stuff in, but so much filler that you're like, that's why you're falling asleep about halfway through.
Yeah.
You know, if he gets to this stuff and start talking about it, then you stay awake. But I love the content, but the way he portrays it sometimes is it's something.
Yeah.
And of course, it's every week. Every week it's 4 hours. Like, oh.
Well, I should talk. My last show was 3 hours and 40 minutes, so I gotta cut these down. In fact, this one's getting up there.
When did you start tonight?
I started a little bit before 10. So
Okay.
now it's after 12. So it's 2 hours plus. Yeah. You guys are funny, Abby says. Ha 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 ha. Mud Rabbit. I don't know if she's talking about us or.
It's very interesting content. It's just.
Yeah, he's a fun guy to watch. And he's really loves what he does. So it's always fun to watch someone do something that they love doing. So yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's always got a lot to say. And
I haven't read this report, but he says there's a report he encountered from the DIA.
Yeah.
And he says he tells you this. It's on the website www.ufoexplorations.com. It says this 154-page document is highly technical, but it's supposedly a summary of the things they used, or the things that they discovered by studying alien craft.
okay.
And so I definitely want to get a hold of that. But it's technical, very technical. But he says you'll see things like nitinol, the memory alloy that's supposedly in the Roswell craft, and you'll see all kinds of things in there. And I know a little bit about that because I actually studied that myself. The patent for that actually came out from the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in 1955.
Yeah.
And there's a number of patents about that. So it's interesting to see how it happened. It was discovered by the Naval Ordnance Laboratory, and then it was passed on to Wright-Patterson to study it, and then they studied it and got a patent on it. And that history is important too, because it gives you an idea of how things worked.
Yes.
So it's all intriguing to me, and maybe less so to people that aren't as technical. But I'm sure there's some gems in there about what they learned about how the craft works, and so I'm anxious to get a hold of a copy of that so I can find out some more. I guess I better do it soon because you never know. Those things don't those things don't tend to last very long. If you don't get it, it disappears and you don't find it again.
Right.
I was having all kinds of problems with my computer a few years ago. All of a sudden, the computer kept. When you start up the computer, you get the blue screen of death, and it never go beyond that. It's like, and I kept trying to figure out how to get past this thing. I tried safe mode on the computer, and that wasn't working. I tried things. Well, finally, when it starts up, I was paying really close attention. And I could see it was saying it was having a trouble with Avast, antivirus software. I did get into the safe mode, and I was able to delete the whole folder that the Avast antivirus software was in, and all of a sudden it would start up just fine. Well, Avast had the reputation of being able to remove government backdoors, and that's why a lot of people wanted that, because they didn't want the U.S. government spying on them, right? So they'd get the Avast software, even the free version of it. And so I'd reinstall it, and it would happen again. And it only happened after I went to like a news site. So the news sites, I concluded, had little V's, little programs that would load on your computer and start disabling your antivirus program. And well, the next thing I did, I went and bought, I would load this on eBay, that there's all kinds of machines like mine that were for sale because they had the same darn problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to buy a couple extra laptops that work perfectly for $20 or $30 a piece.
Really?
Because nobody knew how to fix that problem. I wish I could have told them, how to fix it, instead of them losing their laptop for next to nothing.
Wow. Well, I'm experiencing something paranormal is happening in the studio here. It's pretty amazing. It seems to me that there's a UFO in the studio here, and it lets me spin it like it's almost like it's on a string that I'm controlling. And it looks like it's made out of paper. Looks like it's made out of paper plates, but I think it's actually from outer space.
There was a neat cartoon once that might have been The Far Side, showed this spinning flying saucer, and it comes down and lands, and then the aliens get out and they're all real dizzy and they can't walk straight and they're all just spinning, turning around because they're so dizzy.
Yeah.
So car sick.
You like this?
Is outer space green?
See, this is just a paper, it's a little paper plate on a big paper plate with some black pieces of paper for the windows and another two plates underneath it. And so it gives it that classic saucer shape. And you can just spin it.
I can attest that that's hard to do right.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I'd take pie plates and try to staple them together to make toy flying saucers.
Mm-hmm.
It just never worked very well.
Yeah, I used glue. I used Elmer's glue. So get yourself some Elmer's glue and some fishing line. You have to get the hole right in the center. Otherwise, it's not going to spin. See how good this one's spinning?
That's really neat. I like that. It's when I was a little kid, I wanted space toys, but they just didn't seem to exist.
I know, me too. Now, when they
You
finally,
better watch this. They're gonna name a museum after you, Aaron.
oh yeah, what's that?
It's gonna be the National Air and Space Museum.
Air and Space Museum. There you go. And then they'll say, yeah, open the door and let some air in the room and make it Moriarity in here. So there it is. That's the, you too can make yourself a dynamite little UFO here out of paper plates. The fun you can have with paper plates. I taught daycare, and the one thing about daycares is there's no budget. And so all we had was paper plates and stuff. So we made everything out of paper plates.
Now, Dr. Alzafon's son, David, Alzafon is one of the inventors of anti-gravity. His David Alzafon's book, The Top 10 UFO Riddles, has a chapter entitled, Why Do They Spin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So you've got a spinning flying saucer, and you never heard of David Alzafon. He writes a whole chapter on why the flying saucers have to spin.
Okay.
Well, so why is it?
Yeah, why is it?
Oh, it has to do with it's a byproduct of the what he believes UFO propulsion is based on, and it's his father, Frederick Alzafon, published a paper on anti-gravity in 1989, explaining it's really it's a little too technical. I'd have to reread this to be able to explain it right. He's written 2 books, though. David Alzafon does. Dr. Alzafon tried for years to get investors to invest in his ideas, to start up a company, to build something, and he got nowhere. So David Alzafon is basically just trying to publish everything he can find on his father's work to keep it from dying out altogether. So he has 2 books out. One published in his father's name, but really he wrote it up. It's called Gravity Control with Present Technology by Frederick Alzafon. That's spelled Alzofon, Alzafon. And then the other book is called The Top 10 UFO Riddles by David Alzafon. I got them on Amazon. I don't know where else they would be available. They're pretty obscure books, but they're full of technical stuff about how to build anti-gravity stuff, and the top 10 UFO riddles, all sorts of UFO sighting things, which David Alzafon believes provides a justification for believing that his father was all right.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I once went to a machine shop to try to get them to build a Searle device.
Oh yeah, Searle device, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a paper out there that told basically how it was constructed,
mm-hmm.
and all these moving parts in it, and it just so many moving parts. The machine shop wasn't willing to even quote on it.
Yeah. Wow. That's too bad.
They said it was going to be too expensive. He said that he really didn't want to spend the time doing it. It was kind of disappointing at the time.
Yeah, it is disappointing.
I mean, I told him I didn't care if it was 1 foot in diameter. I didn't have to have one I could sit in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just something I could test the idea with. That's all I wanted. And so
I like how the way that Bob Lazar explains anti-gravity. It seems to make a lot of sense the way he describes it to me.
Well, I found some interesting connections between what he said. You know, he said there exists a gravity A and a gravity B wave. And there's this guy, this physicist his name is Lawrence Krauss at Arizona State University, and he's on the YouTube channel. And
mm-hmm.
he's got one episode. I wish I could remember the name of it, so I could tell you folks to go read it or go watch it. He's talking about superconductors and what happens in a superconductor.
Mm-hmm.
And he says there's different forces in this universe, of course. Gravity is considered a weak, long-range force. And, of course, the nuclear force is considered a strong, short-range force. Well, he says, in a superconductor, they switch. So gravity, instead of a long-range, weak force, it becomes a short-range, strong force. And similarly, the nuclear force, instead of a short-range, strong force, it becomes a weak, long-range force. So, in essence, what they're saying is there's a different gravity produced by a superconductor. And so, to me, it seems like maybe Bob Lazar was in effect saying, it was pointing to a particular technology related to superconductors when he was revealing that. That's my take on the situation anyway. So,
okay.
But if I run across the link to that YouTube video, I'll certainly pass them along.
Okay.
But Lawrence Krauss, and he's talking about superconductors, and he's telling you that inside a superconductor, that things have different mass. In other words, right there is he's prescribing maybe a tool for us to alter the mass of an object. A technology that when we learn how to use it, we might be able to dial in, the weight of something. We can,
mm-hmm. Well, I did
find.
find.
Remember,
go ahead.
And because we are, I claim our soul is made up of two-dimensional superconductor. In theory, then we can control our own weight, our own mass, and levitate. And maybe things that we touch,
mm-hmm.
we can also somehow alter its weight or mass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty interesting when you start thinking about the ramifications of what's described. That's kind of a segue also into the last webinar series that David Wilcock's going to put out. He's going to be talking about personal levitation.
Okay.
And the evidence he's found relating to that.
All right.
And about 3 of the 6 webinars are free. And then if you want to watch the other 3, you got to pay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thankful at least the 3 of them are free.
Yeah.
So if anybody interested in that stuff and doesn't mind paying,
Mm-hmm.
there's a special deal he's got until Tuesday at midnight, basically. If you go to it's called www.thedisclosure.com/VIP.
Okay.
He supposedly has a special deal that you can get it for a fraction of the price.
All right.
I'm letting people know in case they into that and don't want to miss out on something like that.
Right.
But
I did find that.
I don't.
I found that book that Austin was talking about, Gravity Control with Present Technology, from June 14th, 2018, by Dr. Frederick Alzafon. And it looks like he was born in 1919 and died in 2012. Wow, that's a long life, right? Look at that. That's something. Wow.
Well, I did some research on the James Clerk Maxwell, and he had the Maxwell equations that he's famous for, and equations describe the relationship between, electricity and magnetism, basically.
All right.
And supposedly his final work, he had like 19 equations and 19 unknowns, and they're very sophisticated. Well, the guy, he was dying of pancreatic cancer, and his wife, Maxwell's wife, was trying to find somebody who could finish his work so it'd be published. And the only guy available that she thought could even understand what he was doing was his nemesis, who, by the way, also died of pancreatic cancer, just to let you know. But
Heaviside. Man's last name was Heaviside.
Yeah, Oliver Heaviside.
Don't remember his first name. Oliver Heaviside. Yeah, Oliver Heaviside. And then there was a William Gibbs who assisted Heaviside, and they were the 2 authors who rewrote Maxwell's equations to simplify them.
Just 4 equations and 4 unknowns from 19, which means a whole lot of the physics was left out. That's the significance. And what's basically Maxwell was saying is that energy is streaming in from around us all the time, and at such a rate that every square foot of space around us contains a massive amount of energy. Near infinite amount of energy. In fact, have you ever wondered what keeps the electron spinning around the nucleus? Why don't the electrons slow down and fall into the nucleus? Right? They're charged. Electron's negative. The nucleus is positive. Why doesn't it spiral in and fall down?
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's continually getting in. Every electron in the universe is continually getting energy from its environment.
Mm-hmm.
If they're all sucking up energy, where's this energy coming from? I asked this question back in my days in college, and of course, when you ask this question, you get a dumb look and says, kind of shoo you off and says, "Don't bother me."
Mm-hmm.
But
And it relates to what you were saying about the Big Bang Theory. See, the Big Bang, all the energy just comes into existence in one Big Bang about 14.7 billion years ago, and not any since then. Everything comes from that original event. So it's a one-time only deal, and the universe has been running down ever since. So we're running down toward the inevitable heat death of the universe. How's that for a philosophy?
I don't believe any of that. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe the.
I'm in agreement, but if since it's the scientific paradigm we have to live with now, you can't say that unless you've got some reasoning to go with what you say. And here Alan's providing us. Max is providing us with the reasoning.
Well,
oh Lord,
I go by my gut, and if something doesn't seem right to me, I'm usually right about it most of the time, and that's the way I feel about this. I don't really have an answer of what the real thing is. I just think,
Well, your intuition is coming from somewhere, obviously, right? So
yeah. Well, if you take what's
written with Platonism,
if you take what's written in the Lawrence Spencer book, what's it called? Alien Interview. Errol postulates or suggests or tells that before anything ever existed, before there even was a universe or any universes, that all there was were immortal spiritual beings, and many of them. And as these immortal spiritual beings started to get bored, they would concentrate on one area and they would create these illusionary areas. And if enough other immortal spiritual beings saw this illusionary area and saw it as real, it just became real. So that could be the dark matter that's creating everything, are these immortal spiritual beings who are non-universe entities, therefore not detectable in our universe. And eventually they created planets, solar systems, and then eventually they created creatures and beings to inhabit. So they could finally inhabit some beings so that they can leave their powers behind, so to speak, and play games. Because you can't play. You can't play a game.
One of the zingers of the David Wilcock thing from last night was, I was awake for this part. One of the zingers, he's channeling these six-dimensional beings or six-density beings who are telling us about our universe or whatever, and he says, they say our Milky Way galaxy has a consciousness just like everything else does, right? It's the law of one.
Sure.
Everything's one consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says, do you know what the name of the consciousness of the Milky Way is?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay.
So he says these beings are saying that Jesus Christ is the consciousness of our galaxy.
Okay.
And so that every being in our galaxy anyway has the same narrative, has the same teachings of Jesus Christ. And see, he claims that a lot of these people that are contactees have been relaying for some time that there's all kinds of extraterrestrials out there watching our world, because it's supposedly a very rare event for the consciousness of a galaxy to manifest itself as a physical being on any planet. And of course, Jesus did that. And they know that's incredibly rare, and so they know whatever's going on our planet has vastly greater significance in our universe than other events, such events. So it's kind of interesting, very interesting. I'll give him an A+ for originality,
Mm-hmm.
He claims it's all being channeled to him,
Okay.
It's wild stuff. It's hard to wrap your mind around that, but
yeah,
it's interesting. So
yeah. I would admit that I get channeling too, but I don't want to say that what the voices are telling me. No. I don't know. These people who channel stuff, I don't know how to take that because, for one thing, how do you know who's channeling you, who you're channeling? You know,
Right.
is it a good?
They could say they're anybody.
Or is it your imagination, or is it a good being? Is it a bad being, or is it your imagination, or is it because you had too much Mexican food? Who knows?
Or is it Al Gore? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about some of this stuff. It's a little out there.
Yeah,
You know, I also think that there's a lot of, there's a lot of disinfo people in this community, and I can't help but thinking, and I have a strange feeling about some of the things that a lot of people are doing might not be the best things to do. Like some people are actually eating borax. Now, I don't know, they say it cleanses.
That's not good. I can tell you that's not good. You know what it'll do to you?
Kill you?
Well, yeah, because it'll suck the metals out of your body. I did this experimentation. Now, a very dilute solution of borax, I used it because there's a guy that had, a homeless guy that had MRSA.
Okay.
And it was all over skin, and everybody was afraid, and you really couldn't afford to go to the doctor and whatever. I tried to get to the doctor, said I need to pay for it to go to the doctor. You don't want to do that. And so I did some research and discovered that a 10 part per million solution of borax could do something to help him, right? If he washed his arms, it might help him, right? Mm-hmm. And it did help him. But while I was there, I was looking about whether or not what would do to the body if you drank it. And it turns out it doesn't take much to really hurt you because it sucks all of the main metals out of your blood.
Wow.
I mean, in fat and fast.
Yeah,
so there used to be this kind of cult of people made up of very intelligent people that thought they thought this idea is much safer to drink distilled water than tap water, right? And the problem is that does the same thing. You need those metals in the water, and if you take distilled water, it rapidly sucks the metals out of your body, and you'll get cramping immediately. I actually experimented with that, and sure enough, you get cramping immediately.
Well, I've been drinking distilled water. I haven't had any cramping for quite a while.
What?
Yeah.
Just distilled water?
Just distilled water. That's all I drink. Yeah.
Not mixed with anything?
No. Well, coffee. Sometimes I mix it with coffee.
Well, there might be enough metals in the coffee. So if you have something that can replace those minerals, then it won't give you the cramping.
Well, what if I pour it into a copper cup?
Well, hopefully it's not dissolving the copper because that's not good for you.
I thought it was healthy to drink out of a copper cup. Is that fake news too? I don't know. I don't know. You don't know what to believe these days.
Right. Anyway, borax. But the body, it's really interesting because there are scientific papers that show that where they studied the solubility of things in your skin. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, the perfect material to go through your skin is borax.
Really?
And they don't know why or what the significance of that, or is there a significance to that? Is there something that we don't know that we're going to learn that borax does for us? I don't know. Nobody knows. But I've actually read the reports. They were in about 1919 or something, the studies.
Okay.
Where they're subjecting the skin to all these different compounds, mm-hmm. And measuring what happened. And if you just exposed yourself to, say, dilute vinegar solution, like in a tub or something, mm-hmm. your skin will actually adjust to neutralize the acid, right?
Okay.
So you could take, or your body would not adjust. So it's really there's no rhyme or reason that anybody found to explain why it would react to vinegar in a tub, but if you put some other base or something in the tub, your body didn't respond.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about very cool things, of course. They're not very concentrated. Strong vinegar won't hurt you, of course, but other things look good, So there's some very interesting research that nobody has a clue as to what it means.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Why is our body like that? Basically, nobody knows.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. So these people, they can do these things like take borax, and the fact that we're just really hard to kill. It's not, oh, it's doing me good. It's doing me good. How do you know it's doing you good? You might feel okay or something, but we're just really hard to kill. So it might be really bad for you, but you just don't know it. I don't know.
I think that's exceedingly dangerous.
That's what I think.
From my experience.
That's what I think too.
I think if you took a single dose that was large enough, it would be, lethal. I don't know. This is just.
Well, yeah, there's a warning on the box not to do it, but like I said, people are doing it.
I took a 10 parts per million solution, and I was falling over with cramps in every muscle almost. My legs, my arms, everything.
From borax?
Yeah.
Wow.
10 parts per million in water.
Wow.
No, that's dangerous in my book.
Yeah.
But then again, what do I know? Since you drink distilled water, and I can't do that either.
Yeah. Of course, I'm negative.
Distilled water does the same thing.
I have negative blood. Maybe that's. Oh, look.
Maybe you're an alien.
The video hasn't even stopped yet. They already have us on limited. They're limiting the monetization of this video. Unbelievable. So I have to thank Kathy for yesterday's super chat. Boy, they're really they're trying everything they can to beat us down.
Does it just pop up on your screen? How do you know these things?
I just went into add the details of the thing and to go into monetization and click it to on, and it went right to limited. Most of my videos are limited, which means they'll only make like pennies compared to the other videos that make like $1 or $2. So it's really not that much, but to me, I'm a little guy. Every penny counts. That's why whenever I get super chats, it's like, it tickles me pink because that's very.
That's how you keep the site open.
That's how, yeah. It's the magic that keeps it working. And I want to be able to do this for a long time. Hey, Jacob. Oh, yeah, long stream. Yeah. Yeah, I should probably, cut this one short here, guys. Austin, haven't heard from you in a while. What do you think?
Oh, well, I guess I better be signing off and calling it a night.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate your insights, and you got me to look up that suit. That was pretty interesting. So thanks. I'm going to look up some of these books you mentioned too. Very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh my God, Jacob Waters just gave a super chat. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jacob Waters. It was very generous of you. My goodness. That'll keep the things running.
Good night.
Good night, Austin. Have a good dream.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. You missed the chat, fam. Hi, Kelly George. Thank you so much, Jacob Waters. I really appreciate that. Very generous of you. Boy, now I don't.
Tell Kelly, if you ever have any more memories of what's going on with the oars, please let us know, or any other things like that.
You just told her. So, yeah, good night, Austin.
There had to be a reason for it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what that is. Maybe there's something special that you've done or supposed to do, or I don't know. I honestly don't know, but it seems like it has some kind of significance.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what she says. I'm just writing good night, Austin, in the chat. Hi, Kelly George. Yeah, if you have any other thoughts about what Max was talking about that orb, let us know. We'd appreciate it. And Jacob Waters says, you're the best, Aaron. He goes, where is it? Jacob Waters says, I appreciate everything you do, Aaron. Glad to be able to catch you. Yeah, I'm really glad to see you here too, buddy. And I hope everything's going well on your channel. Yeah, we're all fighting the same thing, aren't we?
Yeah, but I think the tide's starting to turn.
Oh yeah, the tide's definitely turning.
That's my opinion.
The tide's turning, and you know, if you listen to Red Pill 78, Black Conservative Patriot, he's good too. X22, you get a good 30,000 foot view of what's happening in the world here, and how we can all get along.
You know, the key is to stay calm and believe that things are moving in the right direction. Send out love. Send out,
Yeah.
you know, because that in itself, we essentially resonates with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And what they want, what the bad people want more than anything else, is for us to rise up and do something, because that's what they'd use that against us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know they would. If we had a mass, you know, a peaceful demonstration,
Mm-hmm.
they would do something to make it into something horrific.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why
clamp down further.
That's why I created the love bugs to bring more love into the world and more, you know, more happiness, because we need to be happy. So where are these little love bugs? You know, I get it from my merch shop, and I'm the creator of these things. So that's the only place you can get them. It's from my merch shop. There's only one design now, but I'm working on several others. So yes, Max, we need more love in this world. We need more happiness. We need, you know, all the things that we used to take for granted. We need to bring it all back.
I can save you the first 2 hours of the David Wilcock presentation and say the first couple hours he's showing that all these studies that show that these people did to show that our consciousness affects sunspots on the sun, right? And vice versa, the sunspots affect the consciousness of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
That in high, when there's no sunspots, there's very few human events, either positive or negative. But as soon as it enters into a period of high sunspot activity, all of a sudden, at least 80% of all the positive and negative things occur.
Okay.
And we're right. The high frequency period of sunspots began in December of 2019. So, you know, we're right smack in the middle of the high sunspot activity. So there's great potential for both great good things and great bad things to occur. And of course, we already know the great bad things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he kind of claims, and it kind of makes a little sense, the sun is a conscious being and we're connected to it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that now the sun, the wheel of karma for the sun is on a 17-year cycle. And I said, if we focus our efforts on staying calm and forgiving ourselves and others, then we're not only stopping our wheel of karma, we're stopping the sun's wheel of karma for a time, and that might be what manifests itself in a solar flash. Anyway, just something to think about.
Interesting.
So
interesting.
So we might be controlling. We might be the ones that bring about the solar flash. Is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm. Well,
just by arcane consciousness.
When Corey was being shown the solar flash and what was going to happen, he asked them, how can we avoid this? And they told him, they said, it's the planet's evolution. You can't stop it. You can't stop it.
Right.
It's something that, why would you want to stop the planet from evolving? You know what? You can't. You can't.
Like saying,
you can't
right.
stop it. So it's not something that we can stop, folks. It's just something that's going to happen.
Right.
And it happens
And the Earth changes are related to the sunspot activity too. So
yeah.
So in essence, all of our consciousness, the Earth, the Sun, and us, are all connected. So
yeah. And all stars and planets and moons are connected too, by supposedly a electronic filament.
Yeah. So this is pretty incredible. This whole idea that all that we see is one manifested consciousness that's connected. So that what we do, what we think, what we say affects the sun and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
The sun has a voice too, of course, right? He's got free will. It says, this is what I think, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we're all saying, well, this is what we think.
Mm-hmm.
So by us all staying calm, concentrating on the positive, expressing our free will and saying, no, this bad stuff isn't going to happen. We're going to get past it, and we're going to have peace and prosperity and all these things. We're making that reality, and we are indirectly doing that via the sun and the earth and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we're all connected. It's all connected. We're all connected.
All connected.
And when people are trying to find out information, they're searching. They climb mountains, talk to yogis, and do all this kind of stuff, shaman, whatever. It's all inside of you. Everything you're searching for is inside of you.
Yeah, you're connected to the source.
Yeah. Everyone keeps looking outward, but it's not. It's inward. It's all in here.
You have the entire Akashic record inside of you.
Yeah.
The Akashic record is the mind of God.
Mm-hmm.
It's all within us. We just have to learn how to access it.
I think I did access it when I was out of my body. It was very strange. It was like a gray stream of knowledge. It was very, very interesting.
We are all infinitely powerful beings. And this is what I contend that this is all part of what we're here to do. And when we come together, then we manifest a greater ability to do things just by joining our thoughts together, just by saying, together we say no. And the whole purpose of the free will love laser is to try to focus our thoughts. I know, because I've seen it work, that it's capable of doing unbelievable things just by focusing in with intent. That's why I say, and I've had visions to know that this one or more people in this group are going to bring about the liberation of China. Now, I put out there my intention that would happen by the 22nd, and maybe it still will. But I do know it's going to happen. I don't know how, or I do know it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kelly George wanted to call in, or someone wanted to call in, and I grabbed the number, but the number has changed. I don't know what happened. So something's up, but but we're coming to the end here. I don't think we're gonna have time to take another call. But so Kelly, join us next time, and or whoever wanted to call in. We'll start a little earlier. We're on Wednesday, I think at between somewhere between 9 and 10. I might start a little early. It depends on how my day goes and if I've got enough information to do a show.
If they want to talk to me though, please let me know early so I can get on here earlier if they want, you know.
Yeah, Mud Rabbit just put the passcode and number in, but I don't know if we're gonna have time. Well, if someone wants to call in, we'll take a quick call, but then it's gonna be very quick, and we're gonna have to let it go because I have the dogs downstairs and it's raining and it's all coming apart here. So yeah, she's been trying so hard. I'll hold out a little bit tonight if she wants to.
Aaron's got to have time to put together these dad jokes.
Dark Brain, no problem. Go do what you got to do. We appreciate you when you're here, and we even appreciate you when you're not here. So don't worry about it. You're a rock star. Go for it. Do whatever you need to do. No problem.
How many pieces were within your puzzle?
How many pieces? Yeah. You know, that's interesting. I designed a puzzle. Let me show it to you. Hold on a second. I want to show this puzzle to you. I hope you can see it.
It's only supposed to take 3 to 6 years, right?
It's a 4-piece puzzle. It's a 4-piece puzzle. This is a 4-piece puzzle. It's called Mind Blocks. And it's a product that I would like to put out. This is a prototype. And I will put it out as soon as I can afford to, but with you know, you can't really see it because of the green screen is freaking it out, but you can make a representation of every number 1 through 11. Those are the numbers, or you can kind of see them. And maybe on the back, it can show it better. Yeah, there's the alphabet, every letter, those 4 pieces, and these shapes too. You can make a UFO shape, you can make all kinds of things. But yeah, they're acrylic, they're very cool, and I hope to have them out sometime in the future. But that's my 4-piece puzzle. You can make the entire alphabet and the numbers 1 through 11 out of these 4 pieces. So that's I'm pretty proud of that design. So yeah. She said she can't, Aaron. Okay. Thanks for the fascinating show. Thank you, Dark Brain. You rock. Oh, we got Jake Waters is coming in. We're going to let Jake in. Well, don't worry, Kelly. Just we'll get a time where it will work, okay? Hello, Jacob.
Hello, Mr. Moriarty. How are we doing tonight?
If I was doing any better, I'd be you.
Oh, I don't believe that, but I still like to hear it.
Thank you for the super chat. That's really, really very generous of you.
Oh, yeah, no, it's no problem at all, Aaron. I love your work. And I love getting to catch you when I do. And you've been doing a lot more shows lately, and I haven't been able to catch you. So I was happy to be able to catch you tonight. I was like, he's doing a long one. I might be able to pop in later and see if we can stretch it out and get him to that 6-hour mark.
Oh, no. People could start calling me David Wilcock. I can't have that.
You're going to be digging into puzzle time.
So are you back on the air now? Is your thing all up now? Are you in the clear?
Oh, yeah. Everything's back to normal. I've been up for a couple of weeks now. No penalties yet. We'll see how long that lasts.
Oh, good.
Yeah, can't complain.
Oh, that's good.
That's Andrew's the other one that likes to do nice long streams. He's a nice 6 hour. He's got some 6-hour to 8-hour ones that I love to watch.
I watch it over and over again. Wow. So now Max just asked, what's the name of your channel?
The name of my channel. Sorry, I haven't been on StreamYard in a while. My name.
Jacob
the name
Waters,
of my
isn't it? Jake Waters.
name. It's just Jacob Waters, and we have an interview coming up. I'm actually doing an interview here soon with Randy Kramer.
Randy Kramer! Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've been talking to him recently and trying to set up a couple bigger interviews, and got Peter Moon up here in the future. And then
Congratulations, dude! Wow.
Yeah, slowly getting there.
That's
Slowly.
awesome. That's awesome, dude.
And
proud
I
of you.
wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you, Aaron. I mean,
and I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for Jordan Sather.
Who's that?
I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Jordan Sather.
Oh, he's the one that sparked your interest in it?
Well, yeah, I did have a show. I had a show on Blog Talk Radio. It wasn't a video show. It was just an audio show. And it was called Aaron's UFO Show, Blog Talk Radio. And it was pretty popular. It was like one of the most popular news shows on that channel. But that's gone now. And now, that was back in 2007, 2008. So that was quite a long time ago. But I started watching Sather and a bunch of other people in Red Pill. And I just thought, wow, I gotta get back in this, man. I got to do it. And I had a friend and we were talking about our plans for the future. And I said, I got to do the show. I got to name it Truth Quest and I got to do the show, and I did. And here we are. And now Jacob's got a show because of that. And who knows who he's going to inspire now. Right?
I mean, Mr. Pena has been doing a lot with what you said before. Mr. Pena's got a lot of shows he's been doing as well, and he's starting to expand his audience a little bit more. We've been doing stuff with Orion Rising. They're another sci-fi channel out of California. That, he's going to be doing a special with pretty soon. He's one of the 4 speakers at the special.
Wow, fantastic! Yeah. You two are really good together, I think.
Oh yeah, it's a fun chemistry.
Yeah,
fun chemistry.
He's an interesting guy. He's a very cool guy.
Oh yeah, very passionate.
Yeah, he's a very cool guy. I like him. You're a cool guy too. We're all cool guys. Max is a cool guy too.
I haven't heard much about you, Max. How are you? What have I missed tonight? You got to fill me in a little bit without
I got here pretty late, so I didn't really talk about all that much. There's a couple things I'd like to talk when I get on here earlier. I have to be honest, I've been eating too late, and as a consequence, I get the dreaded food coma, and so by the time I kind of wake up from a little nap, then I realize, oh no, Aaron's on already.
Oops. That happens. Oops. That happens. Yeah.
I've been just following, of course, especially the good information of the day as best as I can, and of course, and I look up things like what's going on with anti-gravity research and what's going on with different aspects of research. That's kind of what my thing is, and of course, for the third time, I was just telling Aaron that I've been trying to watch the David Wilcock videos, and I get halfway through it and fall asleep. I've done that 3 times in a row. So it's really tough to get through his thoughts. But
Dave Wilcock's got nothing on this guy here, Jake Waters. He's the king of the long videos.
I set a new record.
Yeah, how long?
I have a 9-hour live stream now.
Oh my goodness!
That's my new record.
I haven't seen one yet, but it all depends on how it's presented.
9 hours.
Yeah, 9 hours. So I shared the stream link for everybody and let anybody online that wanted to join in. There was a lot of editing on my hand where I had to go back and cut out a few trolls, but it eventually added up to about 9 hours.
Wow. Now, I just read something very interesting that these two fellas, I can't remember, it was in the 70s, I think they did this, or maybe it was in the 20s. They drove a Cessna for 2 months straight, these two pilots, and they matched speed with a truck to refuel. For 2 months, so you get a 9-hour video. 2 months. I wonder how they went to the bathroom. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, they had a lot of bottles in the car and the Cessna.
Yeah, 2 months. Wow. How did they eat?
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, so that's interesting. You got some good people lined up. Randy Kramer, he's a pretty big personality. That's a good cat.
Well,
Good get for you.
I'm going down a certain path where if I get the right guests, the guests that I want to eventually show up on my show, hopefully will. And I'm trying to
it works. It works. It works. It does. I mean, my first guest was Andrew Bashago. No, it was Corey Good. I'm sorry, it was Corey Good. My second one was Andrew Bashago. So
well, I'm aiming
Heard from Andy lately?
No, I have not heard from him lately, and I was going to give him a call on his birthday. It was his birthday on the 18th, and I didn't call him. I thought, he's probably getting a lot of calls, so I'm not going to call him. But I do need to call him. I'll probably call him tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll probably call him Wednesday.
Let's say hi from us.
I certainly will. I will, and for all of you, and for Jake too. I'll say. That was a fun little stint.
Guest I would love to have on my show. And I don't have other people on to infuriate Andy. I do it because I like to hear people's stories and stuff like that. And I know some of the people I have are a little controversial sometimes, especially in Andy's eyes. But at the same time, I'm very open-minded. I'm not here to judge people.
Right. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I don't think you are either. That's awesome. So yeah. Well, I think it's after 1:00 here. I think we're gonna put a cork in this one, fellas. And I got to really thank you again, Jacob, for your generosity. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Well, thank you, Aaron.
Thanks for calling in. We need more people calling in, I think.
Yeah, we need more people calling in. So yeah, let's start that. Next time we've got some other people here. Oh, Operation Shutdown, 9 hours. Wow, yeah. Welcome, Operation Shutdown. Glad to see you here. Sandy Sue, good to see you too. Yeah, any closing thoughts for our friends here, Jake?
Oh no, Aaron, I just want to say, like, the reason I give those donations is you put up hours and hours of content for people to watch. And for me to give something back, it just, like, for me, it's the least I could do for the hours and hours of content that you've given me to watch and enjoy myself and guests that you've had on and everything else. It's the least I could do. I wish I could offer more. I appreciate everything you do, man.
Well, it means more than you know. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks for calling in. Call in anytime.
Everybody have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
You too.
All right. Well, friends, and thank you, Max, for calling in. I'm looking forward to hearing from you again. And we'll see you all.
I'm going to get in earlier.
We'll see you all next time. Remember, we broadcast Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and sometimes on the weekends, either Saturday or Sunday, or maybe both. But for sure, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's usually 9 or 10 o'clock p.m. Central Time, or whenever Red Pill 78 is done broadcasting, wherever he's broadcasting from. So thank you again. I hope you all had as good a time as I did. I had a lot of fun. You're all my best friends. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Keep looking up, keep looking at the stars, keep taking pictures of the sky. You never know what you're going to catch. And we'll see you next time out on the web. Peace in.